Dramatis Personae of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The actors' names: Cupid,
read by Beth Thomas.
the Old Lord Nonsuch,
read by alanmapstoneAlderman.
Alderman Vintner, a merchant,
read by Todd.
Sir Timothy Troublesome, a jealous knight,
read by Jason in Panama.
the Lady Troublesome, the jealous knight's wife,
read by Sonia.
Master Correction,
read by Nigel
Mistress Correction, the midwife,
Read by
Peg, the Lady Troublesome's kinswoman,
read by KhandNan.
Nan, old Vintner's daughter,
read by Leanne
Nucome, the Welsh Courtier,
read by Philbert.
a boy, Nucome's page,
read by ScarlettGFour
Scholars,
read by Stoofy.
the young Lord Nonsuch, a begging soldier, slack, a swaggering captain,
read by Tomas PeterMaster
Exhibition, the Inns a Court man,
read by
ToddHWWages, the Knight's Servingman,
read by Rob Marland,
and Servingman.
read by Owen Cook.
Stage directions and prologue, read by Chuck Williamson. End of Dramatis Personae. Act 1 of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Prologue. Our author's pen loves not to swim in blood. He dips no ink from out black Acheron, nor sucks invention from the depths of hell, nor crosseth seas to get a foreign plot. He taxes no goddesses for foulest lust, nor doth disclose the secret scapes of love. He rips not up the horrid maw of hell, to show foul treason's hideous ugly face. Nor doth he touch the falls of mighty kings, no ancient history, no shepherd's love, no statesman's life, no power of death he shows. He only strives with mirth to please each one, since laughter is peculiar unto man. And, being sure, freely to speak can be no sin, and honest words have honest construing. Therefore, to fly the least cause of offence, he only finds but words, you find the sense. Wherefore, if aught unto your ear tastes tart, thank but yourselves, which good to ill convert. Yet this, he ought, hath strictly charged me say, that he's a slave, and of a base condition, that doth but draw it to suspicion, that here he privately taxeth any man, since all the world yields vice to play upon. What he intends, action shall make you know. I should forestall the play, should I but show. Cupid's Whirligig. The scene in London. Enter Cupid.
With feathered speed I pierced the air, the clouds asunder I did tear, and thus with wings and bow come I, newly from love's high court in sky. My mother kissed me at our parting, but did charge me leave my darting, and with a strict command did say, Boy, on a whirligig go play. But such a round I'll make him run, as he shall end where first begun. My scourge sticks shall be made of darts, feathered with sighs of lovers' hearts, which made them fly with swiftest flight, as lightning in tempestuous night. My scourge itself are golden tresses, more richer far than chains of esses, with which I'll make some dance a jig, more rounder yet than e'er did gig. But time doth call me to be gone. Yet first, to all you lookers on, before I part, I thus much tell, that gods can go invisible. And though you do not all times eye me, yet know that all times I am by ye. And be assured, and do not think, but that you stand full near the brink of my displeasure, which if ye win, in love I'll make ye sink or swim. Thus farewell all, sit patient yet a while, lest Cupid make yourselves beguile.
Enter the old Lord Nonsuch, Alderman Venter, Sir Timothy Troublesome.
My lord, you know yourself and I have long lived friends, and shall we now with firm affection knit? Tie fast our friendship in our offspring's love, convey our cares in one, our goods together, and our loves in them. And whiles the remnant of our aged days do last, let's doff all discontents, cast by the world's encumbers, and leave the careful burthen of keeping that was care enough to get upon the youthful hope of their more able strength.
Oh, neighbour Venter, do you not know that to marry a child is but to mar a man? For he that cuts a tender twig in springing both mars his length and spoils his growing. My son shall first see 20 years of age before my condescent shall once be given to make him father of a son. Besides, your daughter yet is very young, and though in women's sex 'tis always seen desire to marriage ride always in post, yet in therein repentance is their host. The fault of this is always known to be through foolish husbands, or such as are too young, for children to their wives are like fruit half ripe. They yield no taste, nor give no sweet delight.
Enter the young lord.
Behold, here comes my young lord, the very model of yourself, the vigour of your youth, and strength of all your future hopes.
And he is welcome. What sudden gust, my son, in haste hath blown thee hither, and made thee leave the court, where so many earth-treading stars adorns the sky of state? Or, as the summer's speckled flowery garment is spread about the seat of majesty, what is the reason thou hast left this earthly paradise to visit us before our expectation?
My love, dear father, to your fair wife, hath made my hours of absence from this place seem tedious years. I could not but return from whence I came, as like to man, the which of clay was framed. At first did walk a while upon the earth, but in the end return to dust, or like a river, which through the earth doth draw his life, and spring from out the sea. Thus I, that from you sprung, have run my course a while, but now, as to my sea, return to you again.
Thy answer with thy wisdom hath enriched thy welcome. Dear friends, I pray you set your hands to this my deed.
Exit old lord.
I do, my lord, with all devoted love.
Exit Venter.
And I, which hate my wife, his mistress, his welcome home will breed my ill at home. I breed my horns as children teeth, with sickness and with pain, and yet I will as smooth a face as my wife will give me leave make show of welcome. Sir, I much rejoice to see you, and doubt not but ere long you come and see where my poor house doth stand.
Or else I were unworthy of your love if I neglect the visitation of so kind friends as yourself and my dear mistress.
Visitation? My wife's not sick, what visitation? 'Tis I am ill, 'tis the horn plague I have. I am sure that not God's visitation, yet they are the Lord's tokens, for he hath sent them me. But marry when you will, I'll try and you be a chandler, I'll see if you'll take your own tokens again. Well, but in the meantime I am marked for death, yet he'll be in the pit before me. Oh, that I should be a cuckold, a creature of the last edition, and yet of the old print.
Enter Wages.
Oh, sir, what make you here, when there's a gallant gentleman newly come from court, talking within with my lady?
Yea, more courtiers, more gallants, more gentlemen. Now in 100,000 horned devils' names, what makes he there? What, is he gone to bed to your lady? Doth he cuckold me in mine own house, in mine own chamber, nay, in mine own sheets? What, he's come to visit her too, is he not, ha? But let me see, I have now found out a trick to know if my wife make me a cuckold. I will geld myself, and then if my wife be with child, I shall be sure I am a cuckold. That will do, brave, i' faith. God, a merry brain.
Enter Lady and Nucome.
Sir, I am sorry that I cannot with that free scope of friendly entertainment give welcome to your worth, because a jealous spirit haunts my husband, which doth disturb us all. This devil hath long vexed him, and he has long vexed me, and were I not composed of more than of an ordinary female spirit, the burthen of his wrongs would tire me quite.
They meet and jostle.
Sir, this is my husband.
I cry ye mercy, sir, I did not see ye.
A man would think ye saw me, for I am sure you have hit me right enough.
Pointing to his brows.
I pray, sir, be not angry. I have not any way offended you, nor would—
Nay, nay, though I be, ye may be friends again with me in spite of my teeth. For look ye, sir, my wife and I are but one, and then though I fall out with you, you may fall in with her.
Sir, I come not to offend you, nor—
Nay, nay, ye may, i' faith. Ye may, my wife is charitable, and would be glad by such a means to make us friends.
Sir, then know I scorn my eyes should stand as witnesses unto your lady's wrongs, and let you go unpunished. Slight, see a sweet lady abused.
He draws his sword.
Sir, you shall not touch him. Husband, you are to blame. Your madness makes you much forget your manners, and wrongs my high birth, to make me the only cankered and worm-eaten branch that sprung out of my far-father's noble stock. No, no, know that the tree from which I grew brought forth good fruit to all, not bad to you. But henceforth I'll shake hands with mirth, and entertain a careless humour. For look ye, sir, the devil gives this jealousy to man, as nature doth a tail unto a lion, which thinks in heat to beat away the flies, when he doth most enrage himself with it. But come, sir, will ye be my servant, my cipher, my shadow, or indeed anything?
Your shadow, if you please, and you my substance.
With all my heart.
Ay, I warrant her with all her heart. And now must we do as all shadows do when night comes, creeps into the substance.
Say adieu, do you hear, husband? I here do vow, before all the watchful guard of heaven, that I have lived as true unto thy bed, and chaste unto thy love, as e'er was turtle to her mate. But henceforth ceremonious custom shall not curb me of delight. Let her be bridled by opinion, whose weak desires cannot break her reins. For my part, I'll make you know that my will is like a flint, smooth and cold, but being hardly strucken, sparkles forth fire even in the striker's eyes. I am ashamed that I have said thus much, yet I may lawfully speak for why. Come, sir, will ye walk? The proverb says, give losers leave to talk.
Exeunt Lady and Nucome.
O wages, wages, O honest wages, what other gallants come to your lady in my absence?
Truly, sir, sometimes there comes a proper young gentleman, one Master Woodlie.
Would lie? With whom would he lie, good Wages?
Why, with my lady, sir, and he could get her good will. But he is a gentleman, I can assure ye, sir, for he walks always in boots. But in troth his gentility is something decaying. His boots are on their deathbed, for their souls are upon parting. And I think he be a soldier too, for his sword and his hangers are more worth than all his clothes. And he is a very proper man, for he is as tall as one of the guard, and he will come sometimes and take my lady by the hand and pump for wit half an hour together.
How dost mean pump, huh?
Why, sir, thus. He will take my lady by the hand and wring it half an hour together, and say nothing.
Is that pumping for wit?
Oh, sir, aye. For he that wrings a fair lady by the hand, and says nothing, doth but pump for wit, that's certain.
A most witty exposition of what years?
Faith, sir, he's indeed a man of no ears, for he hath been on the pillory.
But what makes the crop-eared stallion with my wife, then?
Alas, nothing, but lies with her, and she lies with him. Would you have any more?
More? No, too much by heaven. Nay, then, 'twas past suspicion, past doubt, past jealousy. Is not my hairs all turned to horns? Am I not a monstrous and deformed beast? My wife's a goddess, though not Diana. She can transform. I branch, Wages, I branch, do I not? Am I not a goodly screen for men to hang their hats upon?
Why, sir, ye are no cuckold.
No, no cuckold. He lies with your lady, and your lady lies with him, yet I am no cuckold?
Why, no, but give me attention, and with a word I'll wipe away your horns.
No, no, words are too weak to wipe them off, when deed hath put them on.
But hear me, sir.
With open ears to swallow comfort.
I met my lady and he fast by the garden wall, and, asking for your jealous worship, they both replied that you were not jealous. This spoke they both together. In this you know they both did lie together, and yet made you no cuckold.
Ha! Mean'st so?
Even so indeed, sir.
Nay, then I cry ye mercy, wife. In faith she yet may chance be honest.
Oh, sir, very honest as a pretty seamstress, or a poor waiting gentlewoman.
Well, Wages, if I be a cuckold...
Why, sir, what will ye do if ye be?
What will I do? I'll make it known, for I will be a citizen, and so be a subject for poets, and a slave to my own wife. Therefore follow me, Wages. I will do it.
Exeunt omnes. Enter the lady alone.
Oh, grief! How thou tormentest me! It dwells in mine eyes, feasts on my blood, swims in my tears, and lodges in my heart. O heaven, have I deserved this plague? O husband, why shouldst thou use me thus? Was not my behaviour unto thee as soft as down, as smooth as polished crystal, ay, and my love as clear? Was I not like a handmaid, even obedient to thy very thoughts? Did not my nuptial duty like a shadow follow the very turning of thine eye? Oh, thou once didst love me, but thy love was too hot, and like to self-consuming fire it burned out, and how soon 'tis turned to cold ashes. And therefore henceforth I'll seem jealous of him, for since all endeavours fail, I'll now try if jealousy can drive out jealousy. And here is fit occasion for to work upon. Why, how now, husband? Wooing of another wife before my death, whence comes this? In my conscience 'tis a plague that Cupid hath lain upon me for sleeping cross-legged in your absence. What, are ye grown as weary of your wife as of a foul shirt? Must ye be changing?
Good madam, be patient.
Patient? No, you are his patient, and he is your physician. He ministers to ye, with a morbus Gallicus take ye both. I pray forsooth, let me be your butler, and scrape your trenchers, since I am already fain to live of your leavings.
Woman, art jealous?
Ay.
Why?
Because you give me cause. But, man, are you jealous?
Ay.
Why?
Because thou givest me cause.
'Tis false.
True. False? Thou hast been false indeed, abused my bed, infected even my very blood, and made it grow to hard imposthumes on my brows. Hast thou not wantonly changed naked embracements with strangers? Abused thy nuptial vow? Hath not thy unsatiate womb brought forth the bastardy of lust to call me father? But I'll abandon thee, disclaim that, and hate ye both.
Do you hear me, sir? Upon my conscience, you do wrong your lady.
If I wrong her, you'll do her right. I bear a blow of yours, the which I never felt. You are like a man's tailor that works with open shop for the husband, but if you chance to do anything for the wife, you must do it inwards, inwards. You are a good workman, I must needs say it. You have fitted my wife's body. How say, wife, has he not?
Not. But you can even in my sight cast amorous glances on others. You have forsook my bed, abhorred my presence, and like a man past grace and shame, strut like a pimp before a wanton feather-wagging minx at high noon. Besides, did not I find thee kissing of thy maid?
Did not I find thee in private conference with my horse-groom?
Didst not thou offer thy maid a new gown for a night's lodging?
Didst thou not give a diamond to the butler?
Didst not thou send a bowed angel to thy laundress's daughter?
No, 'tis false.
Oh, yes, 'tis true. And then when I told thee on it, thou swearest 'twas out of charity, because the wench was poor, her father an honest man, and her mother a painful woman. For these and these causes you were kind unto the daughter. Great whilst I was contented to believe, because I was unwilling, like a faint-hearted soldier, to look of mine own wounds, until I saw thou daily woundst my love anew, and slewest thine own reputation.
Art mad?
No, but a little jealous like you, I will no longer maintain thy sanguine sin, soothe lust with patience, nor in broken singing language flatter thy folly, as sweetheart do not wonder. For I do love thee dear, as doth a goose her gander. A goose indeed, for if aught but a goose, I should have sought revenge for wrongs.
What, art drunk?
No, for I have sufficient reason, too much knowledge and sense enough to feel my wrongs. Why should we women be slaves to your imperfections? Have we not souls of one metal? Are we not as freeborn as you? Are we not all Adam's offspring? Did not you fall as well with him as we? And shall we be still kept down, and you rise?
Dost hear? Ye are a sort of uncertain, giddy, wavering, tottering, tumbling creatures. Your affections are like yourselves, and yourselves like your affections, up and down, like the tucks on your petticoats, which you let fall and take up as occasion serves. I have seen your sex fall in love with a man for wearing a handsome rose on his shoe, another fall into the passion of the heart to see a man untie his point to make water, a third fall into the shaking ague for eating a bloody cherry with 2 stones. And yet you'll be fellows, even with the very image of your Maker. But wilt let me alone, and in faith I'll be quiet.
Alone? Faith, no.
Then I'll leave thee, since I know 'tis folly beyond madness to make her pleasure cause of my sadness.
Exit Knight.
Believe it, lady, this was well done, and like a lady of high birth. Make your husband know his advancement.
Oh, Shadow, Shadow, I would have you know I would not wrong him for all the sea's drowned riches. For if my heart of blood should do it as he supposeth it doth, even that blood would like a traitor write my faults with blushing red upon my cheeks. But because I, as all women and courtiers do, love good clothes which his eyes wear, yet he upbraids me, swearing 'tis to please the multitude, and that I spread gay rags about me like a net to catch the hearts of strangers. If I go poor, then he swears I am beastly, with a loathed sluttishness. If I be sad, then I grieve he is so near. If merry, and with a modest wantonizing kiss embrace his love, then are my twistings more dangerous than a snake's, my lust more unsatiate than was Messalina's. Yet this from jealousy doth always grow. What most they seek, they lowest of all would know. But now to you, dear cousin, forgiveness let me ask, and pardon for my feigned jealousy, and take but thus much of my counsel. Marry not in haste, for she that takes the best of husbands puts but on a golden fetter, for husbands are but like to painted fruit, which promise much, but still deceives us when we come to touch. If you match with a courtier, he'll have a dozen mistress at least, and repent his marriage within 24 hours at most, swearing a wife is fit for none but an old justice or a country gentleman. If ye marry a citizen, though ye live never so honest, yet ye shall be sure to have a cuckold to your husband. If a lawyer, the neatness of his clerk will draw in question the good carriage of his wife. If a merchant, he'll be venturing abroad when he might deal a great deal more safe at home. Therefore, come, cousin, come, let's home, and this take of me, that among the best there's none good, all ill. She's married best that's wedded to her will.
Exeunt omnes. Enter the young lord.
They say Cupid is a boy, yet I have known him confute the opinion of all your philosophers, for they hold every light thing tends directly up. But I think all know he makes every light wench fall directly down. Well, I am sure he hath knocked me with his bird boat, for the which Venus give him correction, for I do already love a lady of an incomparable delicacy. But she's another man's, and will shut her ears as close to keep out charms as great men do their gates to keep in arms. Yet I have no reason to despair, for I have kissed her, and the French proverb says, Femme baisée est demi-joyée. A woman kissed is half enjoyed, but I fear he means but the upper half. I have here a letter must work a strange thing, and yet no miracle. It must make a lady love her friend better than her own husband.
Enter Wages.
Save ye, my lord.
Oh, Wages, what tennis ball has fortune taken thee for, to toss thee thus into my way?
I hope ye will not strike me into any hazard of my life, though.
But what's the news, my lad? What's the news? How doth Sir Timothy Troublesome, that jealous knight, thy master?
Why, sir, he doth with his wife, like a cowardly captain in a town of garrison, fears every assault, trembles at the battery, and doubts most lest the gates should be opened, and his enemy let in at midnight.
Now, in the name of destiny, who fears he?
Oh, sir, next to yourself, none so much as your courtier, for even with venomed breath he speaks of them. For, saith he, have but a suit to one of them, and they are like Jourdains, which, though ye open the floodgates of your bounty, and fill them to the very brim, yet they'll always stand gaping for more.
But dost thou think his lady honest?
As woman's flesh, maybe.
But she has been a courtier, and therefore knowing most good, methinks she would commit least ill.
Oh, sir, I will not but with sanctified and hallowed thoughts touch Cynthia's brightest beams, whom all eyes do adore, and hearts do worship, where purest chastity doth shine in spotless robes of splendent majesty, where nature, emulating heaven to make her even as fair as she is virtuous. But yet I well could wish. You know in the sky of court are many stars, the which at midnight shoot and fall.
True, through most of the 12 signs, for they shoot from their husbands at Aries, which governs the head, and fall at Scorpio, and so indeed they shoot from top to tail. But at honest wages, will ye bind me to ye?
I think, sir, 'twill not be so much for your health, as if I should keep you soluble.
I mean in courtesy, good wages.
Oh, the very name of good wages will make a serving man do any courtesy.
Then befriend me thus. Deliver this letter to your lady's own hand, with as much secrecy as ye may, and take this for your employment.
As secret as she that sells complexion. None but the chambermaid shall know it.
Exeunt at 2 doors. End of Act 1. Act 2 of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Actus Secundus, Scena Prima. Enter Lady alone with a letter.
You have your eyes like sunglass, catch the heat of my beauty, and cast it on your own heart. And doth your sighs like bellows make it more inflame? Then spend your tears to quench it, for my chaste blood's honour shall never do it. Lust, it's like an overswollen river that breaks beyond all bounds. It's a devil bred in the blood, nursed in desire, and like a salamander lives in a continual fire. It sprouteth larger than the ivy, which embraceth, twisteth, and entangleth every one within his reach, and makes no choice betwixt the goodliest cedar and the stinkingst elder. It's a foul usurper on the name of love, and reigns with greater domination than an emperor. It's a very leprous itch. It stains and leaves a fouler spot upon the soul than tears can wash away. But my chaste thoughts shall watch mine honour. I'll muster up my prayers to fight against temptation. Shall I, that have been a commander of myself, now prove a slave to sin? No, no, my mounting thoughts do soar too high a pitch to stoop to any stranger's lure. Say that a peevish fly entangled were within my never-shorn tresses. Should I, to save his life, cut and deform me of so rich an ornament? What though the Lord Nonsuch within my love entangled be? Must my honour now be clipped to set him free? No, no, my saw is this and ever shall. He that on hope doth climb, doth often fall. But what shall I do? He writes, here he will come. O wit of a woman, now assist me. O apron strings be now auspicious, for he is my husband. Something I must do. I have it.
Enter Knight.
Now, fair mistress, this is strange to find you here alone.
Not alone, but environed and accompanied.
With what?
With many heart-biting thoughts, which like Actaeon's hounds have almost slain myself. Yet now my constancy shall prove a glass in which yourself shall see your own errors. The Lord Nonsuch, which ye have long suspected, with unrebated edge of lust hath always sought, I must confess, to cut my very reputation's throat, and this night—
This night?
Ay, this night. But hear me, husband.
No, no. Cuckold me, kill me with grief. Do, and when I am dead, marry him. He has made you a jointure already of breech down. Well, wife, well, I married you out of the country, but you have learnt the city fashions already. I am a cuckold, I am. But ignorance that I was to marry thee so young, not being able scarce to put thine own apparel on.
I was the fitter for a husband. You might then have been sure to have taken me abed at all times.
True, so might other men too.
No, you are deceived, husband. Other men never lie with a man's wife, but when she is ready for them. But to the purpose. This night have I promised the Lord Nonsuch he shall enjoy my love, for which cause he will send a certain pender before, for fear you stand a rock in his way, on which all his hopes will suffer shipwreck. Now, this same penderly pilot shall be by you bribed to stand sentinel, and give the watchword when he comes, that you may then punish him, either with death or fear.
Oh, snallow and womanish invention, as if he would betray his master.
Tut! Money oftentimes corrupts a good disposition, and makes a knave ride post to hell.
But is this true? Art honest indeed? Come hither, dost love me? Dost? Nay, but tell me true, dost?
Or else in hatred let me ever live.
Do not flatter me, I scarce believe thee. Thou never kissest me but with such an affection as a young wife doth an old husband, wringing her lips, and making a mouth as if she were taking a potion.
You distaste me much, sir.
Dost not distaste me too, sometimes? Tell me true.
Nothing but your jealousy.
Well, prithee forgive me, and let's go. But I'll so swing my lord a horse on Otter, I'll teach him fish in other men's ponds.
Exeunt omnes. Enter young Nonsuch and Wages.
Did you deliver my letter?
With secrecy.
To herself?
Her own hands.
Made she any answer?
Not any.
What other news then rides on the back of report?
Why, they say, sir, that Mistress Correction the midwife is turned hermaphrodite.
Why hermaphrodite?
Why, sir, she has become a midwife. For as your hermaphrodite hath two members, the one to beget, the other to bring forth, so hath your midwife two means, the one to bring you to beget, the other to bring it forth when 'tis begotten. And look you, sir, here she appears upon her cue.
Enter Mistress Correction.
Oh, prithee, do thou board her as she passes by.
Who? I board her? By this light, I dare not.
Then I will. Fairly met, fair mistress.
Indeed, forsooth I have been. By my truth, I see he is a fine-spoken man.
Whereabouts is your house, fair lady?
Here, fast by, sir, not above a couple of stones cast off.
What gentlewomen have ye at home?
Oh, Master Wages, how do ye? Faith, sir, I have nobody at home but Mistress Punkit. You know her well.
What's she?
Truly, sir, a very courteous gentlewoman, and she loves to act in as clean linen as any gentlewoman of her function about the town. And truly, that's the reason that your sincere Puritans cannot abide to wear a surplice, because they say 'tis made of the same thing that your villainous sin is committed in, as your most profane Holland.
Pray, when was Master Wrastler of the Guard at your house?
Who? He? In troth, Mistress Punkit cannot abide him. She swears he looks for all the world like the Dominical letter in his red coat. No, Master Wages, no, I can tell ye I have other manner of guests come to my house than ye. I have pensioners and gentlemen ushers, knights, captains and commanders, lieutenants and ancients, voluntary gentlemen, aye, and many wear their cloaks lined through with velvet. I entertain no mutton-eating Inns of Court men, no half-lined cloak citizens, nor flat-capped prentices. No, the best come to my house. Master Nucome the courtier was there the other day, and truly he would have had some dealing with Mistress Punkit, but that he had no siller. And yet I must needs say it, he would have put her in very good obscurity, for he brought a gentleman with him that would have given his word in a consumption of £20, that he should have paid her at next meeting, and truly but that her trade stands so much upon present payment, and partly for mortality's sake, I think else she would have taken it. And truly, but that her trade stands so much upon present payment, and partly for mortality's sake, I think else she would have taken it. And yet, before he went, I must needs say it, he showed himself like an honest gentleman and a courtier, for he left his periwig in pawn. But had you seen how he looked? For all the world like an ostrich's egg with a face drawn on the one side.
What other guests have ye?
There comes Master Exhibition of the Inns of Court very often, and Master Angel Taker the counsellor comes sometimes, but Mistress Punkit doth so jest with him, she swears to him as she hopes to be saved. And I may tell you, sir, there's great hope on't, for truly she useth just and upright dealing with every man. But as I said, as she hopes to be saved, she would not marry him of all the men in the world.
No? Why?
Because she says that lawyers are like trumpeters, they sell their breath.
She's a fool, tell her. The lawyers are the pillars of the realm.
Yes, forsooth, so I said, but she said they were not only the pillars but the polars also. But I pray you, sir, of what profession are you?
Faith, of none, gentlewoman, only a young gallant, as you see.
A young gallant, say you, I faith? I'll quickly try that by and by. Do you hear, sir? Do you hear?
Putting her hand to her purse.
What say you, gentlewoman?
I pray, can you give me 10 shillings for a piece of gold?
Yes, that I can.
Oh, sir, I believe you are no gallant. I faith it would go deep, my friend, I may tell you, for a young gallant to change 3 groats for a shilling, and to wear great fish, I may tell you too, to angle for in a gallant's great hose.
Hold, mistress, spend that for my sake, and it shall not be long ere I will come and visit your house.
I thank your worship, sir. I'll be so bold as to take my deliverance out of your company.
Farewell.
God be with you, Mistress Correction.
The like to you, good Master Wages. But do you hear, sir? I hope if your worship come to my house, if there be nobody at home but myself, though I am an old woman, yet I hope your worship will not despise age.
No, fear not that.
I thank ye heartily, sir.
With all my heart, Wages, farewell, and bring but an answer of my letter, and I will be thy paymaster, not thy debtor.
Exeunt. Enter Nucome, Wages, and Peg.
Indeed, lady, I am a courtier.
I understand so much by your name, good Master Nucome.
And I am in grace too, lady, what my soul's sweet secretary. You are fairly met indeed. How doth old Venter, thy father?
Oh, how perfumed your courtier's phrases are. I left him in health, sir.
Oh, why, they speak in print, I can tell you. And though it be a sin to rob a man of his learning, yet courtiers are very seldom blamed for getting out of any men's books.
Yet I have known them steal out of them ere now.
Nay, then you'll make a courtier a thief.
Aye, such a one as the good thief was.
Lass, I wonder what countryman that good thief was.
Oh, he was my countryman, lady. He was a borderer on North Wales, I can assure you.
Indeed, and so I think, for not to flatter ye, many of your countrymen have proved good thieves ever since. But I pray tell me, is it the fashion of your North Wales to suffer your beards to grow upwards thus, in spite of your nose?
Yes, lady. all of us that are courtiers. Marry, before, when we were poor country fellows, we suffered our beards carelessly to grow downward, and then they grow into our mouths in spite of our teeth. Now, you know, hair is but excrement, and for mine own part, I had rather have my excrement in my nose than in my teeth.
I have heard most of your countrymen are very active men.
Oh, lady, I have seen a youth of 18 years in our country. Would he caper ye thus high?
'T'has been in a string, then.
Is it possible?
Nay, believe it. He would have done it with all his heart, but he could not.
They say, too, most of your countrymen are very valiant.
Oh, aye. They terrify their enemies with patience.
Oh, we make the excellentest soldiers in the world.
Aye, but they say they cannot press a man into the wars, though, in all your country.
Yes, knights.
Why knights?
To save our landed men at home.
I have heard most of ye are great travellers.
Aye, for France, Spain and England, and such neighbours' countries. Why, I have been as far as Winchester myself.
Indeed, 'tis true. Some of ye travel so far abroad as ye come short home many times.
I have heard ye all are gentlemen.
Indeed, I must confess, lady, we have few beggars, and those we have we reward according. For if he be a lusty knave, we give him a lawyer's alms. Tell him of the statute. If a poor and decrepit fellow, we give him a citizen's wives' charity. Cry, God help him! God help him!
By your leave, Master Nucome, methinks you have a pretty lace on your band.
A pretty slight court lace. All show, all show.
What's this? A shirt that ye wear? Else 'tis a mock beggar with strips.
No, 'tis a shirt, lady.
What? Did you make this doublet new, or else ye new made it?
Yes, I made it new, lady.
Believe me, sir, but the linings are old.
Fie, they are greasy.
I think they are something sweaty indeed, with hunting.
Hunting? Why, a man need not hunt far for game. What's this?
She finds a louse.
Oh, a salamander, lady. 'Tis a salamander bred with the continual heat of sweating.
What's your breech made? All of one stuff, Master Nucome.
Pray, why do you ask?
Because methinks the soil changes here behind.
Ay, and so doth the air as well as the soil, I warrant ye.
What are these hose made of? The newest fashion ye have at court?
Faith, lady, for mine own part, I am no man's ape. This is my fashion, and sometimes I stand in the presence with my cloak lined through, either with velvet or with taffeta. If with velvet, I let him hang on my shoulder, making the greater show. Carry my hat here.
Now, by the soul of chastity, I swear he is a proper man.
If any man pass by and salute me, I salute him again. But if any lady or gentlewoman glide through the presence, and cast her eye on me, as commonly they used to do on men, that makes any show or glister, as I always do.
Ye, always making glisters. I hold my life he is apothecary. Do you never make no suppositors, sir?
I keep my place of standing, carry my body stiff and upright, blush not, am impudent enough, when perchance the heat of the lady's affection makes her take place of standing, either against the hangings or one of the bay windows, and therewith a greedy eye feeds on my exteriors, which perceiving, I draw to her, kiss my hand, and accost her thus.
Enter Knight.
I pray accost her anon, sir, and let's stand close, and trouble not true jealousy in the picture of Hieronymo, in a little volume.
See how he looks. Do you not perceive his heart beat hither?
Aye, for all the world like the Denmark drummer.
Peace, hear what he says.
Forgiveness, wife. Oh, how I have wronged thee! Oh, who would abuse your sex which truly knows ye? Oh, women, were we not born of ye? Should we not then honour you? Nursed by ye, and not regard ye? Begotten on ye, and not love ye? Made for ye, and not seek ye? And since we were made before ye, should we not love and admire ye as the last and therefore perfectest work of nature? Man was made when nature was but an apprentice, but woman when she was a skilful mistress of her art. Therefore cursed is he that doth not admire those paragons, those models of heaven, angels on earth, goddesses in shape. By their loves we live in double breath, even in our offspring after death. Are not all vices masculine and virtues feminine? Are not the muses the loves of the learned? Do not all noble spirits follow the graces because they are women? There's but one phoenix, and she's a female. Is not the princess and founders of good arts, Minerva, born of the brain of highest Jove, a woman? Have not these women the face of love, the tongue of persuasion, the body of delight? O divine perfectioned women, whose praises no tongue can full express, for that the matter doth exceed the labor. Oh, if to be a woman it be so excellent, what is it then to be a woman enriched by nature, made excellent by education, noble by birth, chaste by virtue, adorned by beauty? A fair woman which is the ornament of heaven, the grace of earth, the joy of life, and the delight of all senses, even the very summum bonum of man's life.
O monstrous heresy! You'll be damned for that error.
Nay, let him alone, for he had like to been burnt for that opinion ere now, had not a friend of mine plucked the fire from the stake.
Come, let's break out upon him.
Oh no, good sir. Though it be a thing much given to your name, yet let not us break out. Let us not show such childish parts.
Save ye, knight.
And bless ye, lady. Oh, sirrah, are you there? Come ye hither. What's that strange lady there?
I think it be Mistress Babe, sir, Master Nucome's mistress, for she looks like a northern lass, made of a strange fashion, something like a lute, all belly to the neck.
So like a lute, and you like a skilful musician have been fingering it.
How does your good lady, knight? How doth she?
Well, I praise Hymen, and I adore my stars, she hath no acquaintance with such a female fly as you are.
What means he by that?
Why, I think he means you are but a light huswife. But come, let's leave him.
Light huswife? Hang him, dogged cynic!
Farewell, knight.
Exeunt Nucome, Nan, and Peg.
Forgiveness, wife.
Now the plague of Egypt light upon you all, lice devour ye. Come ye hither, sirrah, what's the cause you keep such villainous company?
I keep their company most, sir, for good victuals. For you keep such a villainous house, as if 'twere always Easter Eve. We still hope for better. And you know your cook is gone already, sir, for fear he should forget his occupation with you. Besides, sir, if any man come to your house to dinner, though he hop upon one leg, yet every man saith he comes too fast. And for mine own part, sir, you have given me nothing since I came unto you.
O thou pampered lad, what wouldst thou have? What wouldst thou feed on? Quails? Art thou not fat? Is not thy neck brawn, thy leg calf, thy head beef, and yet thou wants meat?
No, sir, but I would willingly have some wages.
Well, I'll think on it, and so go call your mistress.
Look you, sir, here she comes without calling.
Save your honesty then, and be gone without bidding.
I vanish, sir.
Exit Wages.
Do so. O my sweet wife, my selected spouse, the very vessel of chastity, filled to the very brim with hymen zeal and nuptial duty, how have I abused thee? But I have washed repentance even in tears, and in thy absence I have dedicated sacred sighs unto thee to appease thy wrath. Therefore tell me, sweet wife, When comes this pander? When comes he?
I muse he stays so long. He should have been by promise here an hour since. And look, here he comes.
Enter Lord, disguised.
Oh, you are welcome, sir, welcome, my faith. But when comes your lord? Is he at hand? Will he come?
My lord, sir. What lord?
Nay, come, come, make not the matter strange, man. My wife hath told me all. You are an honest man. Hold, hold, will you but befriend me now, and watch another door unto my house, and give me notice when he comes, while I watch this?
Oh, now I see the trick on't. His wife hath gulled him with a lie, and made him believe I am but a poor servingman only to enjoy my love. Oh, kind woman! Oh, sweet lady! Nay, now I see she loves me.
Oh, excellent wife, how true she told me! What a beast have I been still to wrong her with suspect!
Fair sir, I see you are a very worthy gentleman. For mine own part, I should be glad to do you any pleasure. For to tell you true, I think my lord means to cuckold you indeed.
Why, that's well said. Hold, here's one angel more, and go but with my wife. She'll show you the other door while I watch this, and if he come, knock him down, kill him, and lay the fault on me. I'll please you for your pains. Look, here's a club we'll hold.
Give me. Come.
Go, wife, go with him. See, stand stiffly to it, and if occasion serve.
I warrant ye, husband, fear it not, but I'll do my part.
Exeunt wife and lord.
Why, that's well said, and if he come to this door, I'll teach him come to tie his mare in my ground. But what a slave have I been still thus to suspect my wife! I could never feel any horns I had, and yet I know my skull is so thin that if my wife should cuckold me with the least thing in the world, yet my horns would 'a grown through. Now am I for my lord.
Enter Lord and the lady at another door.
Now, fair mistress, this far through the mouth of danger am I come, and made my passage even through her life-devouring jaws to feast mine eyes upon this beauty, which makes me think all dangers but a sport. So you receive and wrap me in your love's embracements, and take hold of this fair occasion, for well you know your husband's jealousy will turn this proffered time like fortune's wheel, and drown our fairest hopes even in despair if you be tedious in our love's effects. And therefore, since your wit hath safely plotted my arrival here, proceed even to the utmost lists of my desire, and make me happy in the fruition of your long-desired love.
Oh, my lord, shall a smile, a good word, a little kind behaviour, or the title of dear servant, make your hopes to swell into so great a sea of lust as presently to overflow and drown the honour of your mistress? Oh, my lord, no. Your judgment much deceives you of my disposition. Besides, I sent not for ye. It was your lewd unbridled will that made you thus come gallop hither. Yet by my means I must confess as yet you are unknown, and in some sort I'm glad your being here, only to make you known that neither fairest occasions nor greatest persuasions shall ever make me violate my faith to him I owe my love. No, my lord, I know I durst to trust myself against the most of opportunity and strength of all temptation, and though my husband watch you at the door, yet know within my conscience watcheth me, though he be blinded with a trick, yet the clear all light giver's eyes do see. Therefore, good my lord, be gone. You see, my husband is wilful bent, and if he chance to know you, I much doubt your safety.
But is this my pain's requital and my love's reward?
Alas, my lord, what would ye have? My love is not mine own.
Well, farewell, lady. You may repent this yet ere long. Yet peace, fond breath, lest threats my plots beguile. Vengeance intended policy must smile.
Exeunt Lord and Lady. Enter Lord.
Are you going, sir? Are you going? What, will not your lord come?
I think not, sir. His hour is past long since. Some other business hinders him.
Gods, my passion, what do I see? This is he, I see his chain. Nay, but look you, sir, when will you come again? By this light I see his signet ring.
Assure yourself, sir, I'll bring you notice before my lord come.
Nay, but will you sure? Shall I trust to you? For look ye, sir, and if you should not come, pray stay a little, methinks your band is torn.
It's no matter, no matter.
No, 'tis not. Now I see it. By this hand, 'tis he, 'tis he. What should I do now? If I should strike him, he would be too hard for me, for he is better armed than I.
Well, sir, I'll take my leave of you, till your occasion shall need my presence.
Fare ye well, sir. I hope that shall be never. But I have not spun a fair thread, think you, to be a very bawd and errant withal, to give them opportunity, put them together? Nay, hold the door the whilst, this is my wife's plot, by which I have sailed to Cuckold's haven, yet my sail was but a smock, which she herself hoist up. Alas, alas, gentlemen, do you not know the philosopher saith this world is but a stage? Hodie mihi cras tibi, my part to-day, it may be some of yours to-morrow. Why, 'tis but matrimonial chance. We that are cuckolds should be wisest men, for no men else do know their ends, but we know ours, for we are forked at both. O thou powerful and celestial Jove, strike down from heaven some congealed bolts of thunder, that it may pierce the womb of earth, and through it send thy lightning flames to make hell hotter than it is, or with Egyptian damps and rotten jaws renovate thy eating plague of life, dissolve nature, consume earth, destroy hell, and damn woman. I beseech thee into a deeper dungeon than the devil. They fill men with diseases, and give the way-eyed Son of Heaven cause to smile to see our pains. Shall the gaping of graves, the scritching of ghosts, and cries of damned souls yet longer be deferred? Shall time incorporate with sin and beget more mischief? Shall hell be better furnished with women than with devils? Infernal Lucifer will muster up his female souls against thy deity, unless thou do abridge the course of sin by cutting off the increase of women, and then we shall have no more cuckolds. Come ye hither, wife, come ye hither. Pray, tell me one thing true.
Enter Lady.
True? Why, husband, I lie for no man's pleasure.
Yes, for his pleasure that is gone.
For his pleasure? Why for his pleasure?
Because you are a punk, wife, a punk.
Oh, now Jove bless me.
You are a cockatrice, wife, a cockatrice.
Now heavens defend me.
You are a whore, wife, a whore.
Sir, the man is mad.
Ay, horn mad. Ay, thou vile, perfidious, detestable, lascivious, unsatiable, luxurious, and abominable strumpet! Was it not enough to be an Acteon, a Cornuto, a cuckold, but to make me a bawd, a pimp, a pander?
What pimp? What pander?
What pimp? What pander? Why, was this not the Lord Nonsuch? Did I not see his chain? Nay, prithee say 'twas not he. Nay, swear it too. Over shoes, over boots, since ye have waded to the belly in sin, nay, now go deeper even to the breast and heart.
Pray, hear me, husband.
What vile excuses canst make? How canst thou hide thy lust? Wouldst wrap thy sin in perjury to muffle up thy villainy?
Nay, good husband, for pity's sake, hear me.
Talk not of pity. Pity is deaf and cannot hear the poor man's cry, much less a strumpet's.
Oh, for charity, hear me.
Charity is frozen and benumbed with cold. It cannot help thee. Dost kneel? Dost kneel? To the heavens, not to me, yet they look thy heart should stoop, and not the knee. Dost weep? Dost? Rise, rise, thou strumpet, go out of my sight. In, in.
I go, yet this my comfort, in the gall of life, suspicion never wronged a truer wife.
Exit Lord. Enter Wages.
Ho, Wages!
Here, sir.
Come hither, Wages. My old resolution is come on me again, and it shall make me do much, for I will geld myself.
Alas, sir, that's the only way to make you do little.
Therefore, go fetch me the operator.
What's he, sir?
The stone cutter.
Oh, you mean the sow gelder.
Oh, he's an excellent fellow. He takes away the cause of a man's beastly desires.
Aye, and of their manly performance, too.
He makes a man not care a rush for a woman.
No, nor a woman care a straw for a man.
Doth not such a fellow deserve commendations?
Yes, as a hangman doth, for cutting off the traitors that makes the flesh rebel.
Wages, I do now more doubt my wife's honesty than ever, therefore I'll make him the touchstone of her reputation.
Faith, sir, ye might get easier touchstones than he a great deal. There's many a goldsmith's wife in Cheapside could help you to a better.
He deserves much praise.
Aye, as your cockatrice doth for the dismembering of men.
If she be a punket, I'll not be divorced.
Why should ye? Why, ye cannot keep more gentleman-like company. Besides, your punk is like your politician, for they both consume themselves for the common people. And your punk, of the two, is the better member, for she, like a candle, to light others, burns herself.
Well, Wages, come follow me, for I am resolved to try my wife's honesty.
Exeunt omnes. Finis Act 2nd. End of Act 2. Act 3 of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Actus ter. Scena prima. Enter young Nonsuch, like a begging soldier.
Venus lay where Mars had found her, and in warlike arms he bound her. Cupid cried, and Vulcan spied, and thereon threw the Cyclops. But his horn begat his scorn with all the little god's mocks. Now some honest gentleman passed by, that I might sell him the maidenhead of my occupation for a halfpenny mass. Ah, here he comes. He shall have it, i'faith.
Enter Nucome.
Worshipful gentleman, look with your eye, and pity with your heart the distress of a martial man. I have been a man in my days, and acquainted with better fortunes than I now see. Time hath been, I have borne arms, but now one's gone, and I can no longer write, gentlemen. Wherefore, if you please to bestow but one poor thistle of your bounty to prick the blister of my poverty, it would set my slender fortunes afloat, where they now lie beating on the good winds of famine. I am none of these Ludgatians that beg for 80 poor men. My suit is only for myself.
Whom hast thou served, friend?
First, I served in Ireland, then in Holland, Brabant, Zealand, Gelderland, Friesland, and most of the 17 provinces. I was at the siege of Bergen-up-Zoom, carried a pike at the entrance of Sluis, and was hurt in the groin entering the breach.
Who was thy captain?
I served under the command of Captain Pipe.
Who? Captain Gregory Pipe?
No, sir. Captain Tobacco Pipe.
Oh, I know him well indeed. He is on the English nation, hath much employments.
I can assure your worship, sir, I have seen him in very hot service, and when some of us, his followers, have smoked for it too. Wherefore I beseech you, sir, bestow something on me, for the knowledge you had of my good captain.
Go to, sirrah. I fear ye are a counterfeit rogue.
How? Rogue, sir? Though none of fortune's favourites, nor great men's minions, yet perchance is as good a man as yourself. Swoons. Rogue.
Nay, be not angry, good friend, for I faith I love a soldier with all my heart. For indeed I have a cousin is one. Would give thee something, but I faith I have no siller. Yet I give thee 18 pence in conceit, and so farewell.
Exit Nucome.
Well, sir, in conceit I thank ye then.
Enter Knight and Wages.
Here, Wages, come ye after like a clog for the heels of the old ape, your master?
Wages, how many pounds go to a stone of beef?
8, sir.
Then I am lighter by 16 pound now than I was. I may now lie with any lady in Europe for any hurt I can do her.
True, sir, or good either.
I can cuckold no man.
Yet any man may cuckold you.
What's he, Wages?
Some poor soldier, sir, lately come out of the Low Countries.
I must not now beg lame, for fear I lose his service by it. I beseech ye, good black captain, bestow something of a poor soldier that hath served his prince both by sea and land. If you bestow but one poor penny of your liberality, when the wheel of fate turns, if the bitter frosts of poverty do not in the meantime nip my fortunes in the blossoms, I doubt not but to reciprocate your courtesy.
Hyder, what an excellent fellow this would make to dwell in the exchange! How the rogue prates!
What, art a soldier?
I have been one some few years.
Why, then, thou art a gentleman by profession, and 'tis a shame for a gentleman to beg.
So I think, for I have gentlemanlike qualities enough, for I had rather drink drunk to purge than take physic. But will you give me anything, sir?
No, sir, my master doth not use to give gentlemen money for fear of disgracing them.
Oh, I cry your mercy, good Master Mustard Pot.
Mustard Pot? God's light, Mustard Pot! And why Mustard Pot?
Because thou art a sauce-box.
Sauce-box?
Go to, be quiet, Wages.
But will ye give me anything, sir?
No, not a penny.
Come then, sir, will ye walk a turn or two?
Walk with thee? Why, art not lousy?
I need not. I have change enough, for I have 2 pair of shoes.
Wert never in better fashion?
Yes, I have borne the badge of honour in my days.
Ay, he hath been some nobleman's footman, sure.
Was thy father an alchemist that thou art so poor?
Why, do you not know poverty hath a gentleman usher's place? It goes bare before death.
Thy name?
Slack.
Of what religion art?
Faith, I am yet clean paper, You may write on me what ye will, either Puritan or Protestant.
Wilt thou serve me?
So you give me wages?
Yes, that I will, and thou shalt wear my livery too. I'll give it thee, thou shalt not buy it thyself.
I thank ye, sir.
Enter a bawd.
Oh, Mistress Correction! How do you?
I thank ye, good Master Wages. And how doth that goodly gelding, your master?
Why gelding?
Because he hath both abused and accused one of the most virtuous lady that ever frizzled her hair.
Peace, speak soft, that's he.
Is that he?
The very same.
Now, by my troth, I am glad to see your worship in good health. And how doth your good worship? Lord, you look ill. A body may see what grief will do. Oh, had you had a good wife, your worship would look 20 years younger than you do. 'Tis even pity of her life that would wrong such a sweet man. What an excellent complexion your beard's of, and by my troth he keeps his colour very well.
Slack pinches behind.
What now, you saucy companion, you? What ail you, trow?
You had an ill midwife, mistress. She hath not closed your mould well behind.
Marry, come up, Jackanape's father-in-law. What can you tell?
I felt it by giving my hand to bid it farewell.
Oh, sir, that sign ye are a clown. If ye had been a gentleman, ye would ha' kissed it, and ha' taken your leave on't. I pray, Master Wages, what's this fellow?
A new man of my master's, and I can assure you, a tall soldier too.
A tall soldier, say you? So methinks. His clothes have been in trode services, for they are very dangerously wounded. Sir, and like your worship, this that you have entertained is no man. 'Tis some scarecrow, and you have done very ill to take him away. The crows will eat up the corn now out of all measure. Pray God we have not a dear year after it.
I know your husband well, Mistress Correction, and Mistress Punket too. I hear she keeps a bed much. What, is she not in health?
Have you such a gentlewoman lies at your house?
Yes, indeed, sir. A younger brother's daughter, a kinswoman of my husband's.
It seems he hath been acquainted with her.
Who, he? No, sir, she scorns to speak with him unless 'twere by an attorney.
Pray, how doth your husband, good Mistress Correction?
The better you're asking, good Master Wages.
Indeed, her husband is a very honest, painful man, sir.
Oh, Master Wages, no, no. Master Wages, you are deceived in him. There's never a morning but I'm ready and abroad an hour before he's up. And when he is up, as I am a living woman, I can make him do nothing for my life.
No, doth he not study?
Yes, like the clerk of a great man's kitchen, what meat he shall have for dinner.
Believe it, but he's a good scholar, though. Oh, he hath a passing head of his own.
Hath he? Ay, he hath indeed, if ye know all. And I can tell ye he may thank me for it too, for he went to school to me in my first husband's time.
Pray, what was your first husband?
Master Seldom, the preacher. And like your worship, he preached in 2 of his benefices in one day, and sure it was the death of him. He never joyed himself after he so overstrained his voice.
And then you married this man?
Yes, forsooth, and truly afterwards bought him a benefice, but he hath sold it again, and I may tell you, though I am no lady, yet he's called Sir John every word, and for all this now he makes no more account of me than your man Master Wages doth of an old shoe-clout which he never thinks of but when he needs, and if he cannot find it, why, any other thing serves his turn. And so he deals by me, and truly, Master Wages, I may tell you, I mean to put him away.
Away? Aye, why, ye cannot put him away for this.
Yes, I warrant ye. If you can find in your heart to love and marry me, let me alone for that. I'll keep ye like a man all days of your life. Besides, if the stones of the street in ye city should be too hot for ye, and that ye dare not walk on them for fear the wicked vanities of the world should catch hold of ye, as they have done to the utter overthrow and undoing of many a good man. Yet I can get my living in the suburbs, and what trade soever go down, I doubt not but mine will hold up as long as the kingdom yields either soldiers or younger brothers, which wants maintenance to keep wives of their own. No, Master Wages, my trade is a sweet trade. Little doth anybody know what comings in I have daily. I keep 3 as good feather-beds going winter and summer as any sinner in the suburbs. Besides, I warrant ye, I get above £20 a year in Rhenish wine at the second hand.
Well, ask my master. If he be willing, ye shall find me forward.
And that's as much as any woman can ask, truly. And please your worship, I have a suit to you.
What is it, Mistress Correction? For you are very like to speed.
That I may have your good will to marry Master Wages.
Why, you have a husband alive.
Ay, but I can be divorced from him, and, like your worship, for 3 several causes which I know well enough, I warrant ye.
If he be willing, with all my heart.
I thank your worship.
His fellow, Wages, pray word we. Dost mean to have her?
Aye.
Well, go thy ways. I warrant thee a sound piece of her.
A piece? Why a piece? Didst thou ever shoot in her?
Who, I? No. She recoils too much in the discharging for me to meddle with. But dost hear? Put her away again as soon as thou canst. If thou keep her long, if she prove not like a commodity of wood and stink in thy hands, then hang me.
Well, Mistress Correction, I could wish you go about this your affairs as soon as you may. And Slack and Wages, do you two follow me.
Exeunt 3 at one door, and the Bod at the other. Enter Peg and Nan.
Now, by my chaste thoughts, which I was a mother of at 9 years old, I here swear never to be in love. Yet Master Nucome the courtier thinks, with the wearing of a neat boot and a clean band, to catch my love napping, as Morse catched his mare. But Venus be my good speed, and Cupid send me good luck, for my heart is very light, and I fear 'tis but like a candle burnt into the socket, which lightens a little before it goes out.
I most fear 'tis like lightning before thunder. I pray, have a care ye hold fast.
Come, thou hast such a running wit, 'tis like an Irish footboy. I fear 'twill rob thee of all thy friends, then run from thee and leave thee. But I pray thee, tell me one thing.
I will, and be a good thing.
Hast thou thy maidenhead yet?
My maidenhead? Faith, aye.
Come, prithee, do not lie, for they say 'tis lost lying, and by the strength of my little virtue, I wonder, for mine own part, to see how this foolish virginity is esteemed when there is such danger in the keeping it. For who doth not know that the barren womb is cursed? And all know virgins have no children. Besides, women shall be saved by the bearing of children. How thinkst thou? Are they?
Nay, I cannot tell. You were best to try.
Indeed, they say 'tis good to try before one trusts.
But I pray thee, tell me one thing now.
And what's that?
The reason why thou art come run away from thy father. Considering the foreman of your shop, methought was a good handsome fellow.
'Tis true, so he was. But he had no leisure to keep me company o' worky days for crying, "What do you lack?" And o' holy days he would be at stool ball amongst the boys when I had most need of him. But to tell thee the true cause of my coming away, I should have married a young unthrifty lord, one that would give his very soul to a fair woman, and, faith, sometimes though she be never so foul, yet he will lend her his body. He had never a hair on his beard this 3 or 4 year, but might have been an utter barrister, for they have malted all 5 or 6 times. He's like death. He spares none, young nor old, rich nor poor, fair nor foul. He takes all.
Well, Nan, well. Thou art happy. Thou wert born under a good planet. Thou hast store of suitors. But prithee look, is there none hears our counsel?
No, none. Speak boldly, lass.
I think an ill star reigned when I was born. I cannot have as much as suitor this Master Nucome, that you forsooth so much scorn. I could find in my heart to pray 9 times to the moon, and fast 3 St. Anne's Eves, so that I might be sure to have him to my husband.
Aye, thou wouldst have him dreaming but not waking, I am sure.
Not waking, yea, and abed too, for here I vow even by the chastest thoughts that e'er was nursed within Diana's breast, and by those purple drops chaste Lucrece spilt, and by the unstained colour of a maiden's blush, that I will prove as true unto his bed as e'er did she that did Ulysses wed.
Nay, since I have refused a lord, by this light I scorn to marry any under the degree of a knight.
No, I would not have a knight if I might, for there are so many as they are forgotten what they be.
Nay, then I see you are deceived. Why, women, they have most of them taken an order that they will never be forgotten, for they have booked themselves down a purpose. I know above 23 in one Mercer's books in Cheapside. Then judge thou how many are in all their books, and those that will be a witness, I warrant you, to after ages, what their forefathers have been.
Aye, but that's but their faults, yet you know their calling is honourable, though.
Faith, thou sayest true. I must needs say, knighthood is like marriage nowadays, which thought to be honourable amongst all men, yet it is beggarly with a great many. But come, shall's go to dinner, and see what stomach I have to my victuals. For a faith I have none to a husband, I would not taste a morsel of a man for any money.
Oh, that's because thou art not hungry.
'Tis true indeed. A little bit would fill my belly.
Exeunt omnes. Enter Lady in slack after her.
O my unkind husband, why dost thou reject me? If not on thee, where should I fix my love to have reward?
Enter Wages.
Here where you are, in dear and high regard.
Alas, thou art a man of mean condition.
Your love to me will breed the less suspicion. Fortune denies me wealth, all ill upon her. Yet I have courage to defend your honour, madam. You reason have to be unjust. A wicked husband makes an unkind wife. Men brag that women weaker creatures be, yet you must suffer all gross injury with silence too, and lowliness of spirit, and then, forsooth, a good wife's name you'll merit. A goodly purchase sure to be a slave unto a slave, till you go to the grave. Eve had a soul as well as Adam. All souls are masculine. Hold freedom, madam. If strength of body make the noblest creature, why should not lions be the kings of nature? The strongest creatures governed are by sense, and there thy soul hath little residence. Philosophers say the element of fire is active, purest, aptest to aspire, of which you women have the lesser portion, which makes your brains beget cold notion. I grant that Adam was created so, but since his fall all things do backward go. Now active heart gets murder, deft and rapine. 'Tis thy chariot which all vice doth ride in, against whose ills women good temper spurns. Give me the heart which warms, not that which burns. Oh, hateful is the state you now do hold, worse then the slave that is for money sold. For you must money give to buy your evils, and bind yourselves to some incarnate devils. Be but chief steward in their drudgery, bring forth their brats with your lives' jeopardy. Scarce dare you give an old sleeve from your arm, but they cry out, "You're under covered barn."
Ah, presumptuous slave, whose flesh upon thy bone thy master just made challenge as his own, which, by the dead scrapes from his trencher got, is quickened now to cut thy giver's throat. Thou venomed snake, frozen with beggary, now being thawed by thy master's bounty, wouldst thou sting the bosom that did revive thee, and like a viper gnaw who first conceived thee? Full argument of a servile spirit, for noble hearts will gratify each merit.
Exit Lady.
Yea, are ye vanished?
Why, how now, fellow Slack? What, is she gone?
'Slife, what should I do now to stop this slave's venomed breath, for fear it infect my reputation with my new master? This time was ill taken, yet something I must do. Fellow Wages, how long hast thou been here?
Ever since fortune denied thee wealth, and ill upon her. But thou hast courage to defend her honour.
Slight, ye hath heard all. Why, man, 'twas my master set me only to try her.
Nay, like enough, for I see he would willingly prove an accessory to the stealing of his own goods.
Enter Knight.
True, and look, here he comes. But I pray thee, say nothing, let me tell him of it.
Who, I? Not a word. My mouth is as close as a falconer's pouch, or a country wench's placket.
She would never cuckold me, but that she hath some reason for it.
True, sir, there is nothing done, but there's reason for it, if a man could find it. For what's the reason your citizens' wives continually wear hats, but to show the desire they have always to be covered? Why do your seamsters spend their time in pricking, and your ladies in poking of ruffs, but only to show they do as they would be done unto? Or why do your Inns of Court men lie with his laundress in a long vacation, but because he hath no money to go abroad? Or why do your old judges' widows always marry young gentlemen, but to show that they love execution better than judgment?
Oh, but I wonder much she would not give me leave to make my first child myself.
Oh, she knew you were but apprentice to the occupation, and commonly prentices spoil their first work, and, being unskilful, she was loath you should practice in a good shop, and therefore she befriended you, because she would have it well done. She got a better workman to do it for you. For it's the reason the younger brothers, according to the old wise tales, always prove the wisest men, but because the fathers grew more skilful at last than they were at the first. But I think your wife's eldest son will prove an excellent fellow, because she had the help of so many in the making of it. For commonly, if one have a thing to be done, as a conveyance to be drawn, or a case in the law to be argued, a man would have the help of as many good lawyers as he could get. Now, this case of making of children and a case in the law is something like. For as one lawyer takes his fee and deals it, another lawyer comes and argues the case more profoundly, but in the end, when all is done, leaves it to be tried by the jury, in whom the right is, and so must you. When they and you and all have done your best, yet in the end must leave it to be tried by your wife, whose the child is, for a woman's knowledge in this case is better than 12 men's.
Oh, Slack, I hate worse than the worst sin, that is.
And, I pray, which sin do you most hate?
That which is most like her, which if thou wilt repeat,
I'll tell their conditions.
And I, which is most like her.
Then the first is pride.
I would have that sin burnt for a witch. It changes men into so many shape.
The next is murder.
Oh, that's a thirsty sin, for naught can quench it but blood.
What is theft?
Faith, the greatest fault that I can find in that is it cozens the scriveners, for it borrows money without giving any obligation.
Covetousness?
Oh, that's an excellent sin, for to deal with, he that hath a loose belly, for 'twill bind any man for 10 groats.
What is sloth, then?
Faith, sloth is a good, maidenly, green sickness sin.
But lechery, my lady.
Oh, that's the suckingest sin that a man can be acquainted withal. It cannot endure to be in company. It creeps into corners, and hides itself in the dark still.
What sayest then to drunkenness?
Oh, that's the most gentlemanlike sin. It scorns to be beholding for what it receives in a man's house. It commonly leaves it again at his door.
Nay, then lechery scorns to be beholding too. For I have known what it hath received in a man's house. It hath sent home again 9 months after, and lain at his door. And, therefore, the more gentlemanlike sin a great deal, because it takes the longer time of repayment. But I pray, sir, now, which of all this is most like your wife?
Murther, for naught can quench her thirst of lust. But now I soon shall find her villainy, praised be my vigilant care, which if I do espy, I'll turn her off.
Alas, alas, sir, you have no reason to be angry, much less to be divorced. Although she do transgress, are you not cut? Have ye not given her cause? Is it not out of mere necessity she doth it? Therefore, if you follow my counsel, make her amends with kindness, and put not her away.
Believe me, he speaks wisely, and good counsel, like a lady, is to be embraced.
Not put her away, and if she wrong him, if he do not, I say he is one of the arrantest blocks ye ever man spurned on. Why, is he not a gentleman, a knight? Hath he not seen fashion? Sir, I would have you bear a noble mind. Put her away, and you list. 'Tis no matter for cause if she change, but a trencher with a groom of your stable. 'Tis dealing enough to be divorced. Therefore, put her away, and then you may have another wife.
Another wife?
True, a gallant, and yet a modest lady too. One that shall nourish no blood but your own, tender your reputation as the apple of her eye, and honour even your very footsteps.
She shall go. I'll make her truss up her trinkets. O faith, she shall away.
Shall she away? If she do, you know not what. You draw 1,000,000 enemies about your ears. Her kindred, they'll exclaim, no friends will seek revenge, and your enemies will grow even fat with laughter at your folly. Besides, what woman then will have you? Are you not gelded? Assure yourself that now there is none will love you. Most will hate you, but all will scorn you. Therefore, by my advice, make much of her and keep her while you have her.
Huh. Now, by the virtue of my hearing, he speaks but reason.
So 'tis good to keep us still. Dwell in the suburbs to break down your own glass windows. Set some picks upon your hatch, and I pray profess to keep a bawdy house.
A bawdy house? No, I'll die first, and if I see but any apparent shew of her disloyalty, I'll even be divorced immediately.
Exit Knight and Slack.
Well, I see the substance of this slave is villainy, but I'll prevent him even what I can, since none is worse than a serving honest man.
Exit. Sound music. End of Act 3. Act 4 of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Actus Quarti. Scena Prima. Enter Knight and Slack.
Why, had I not a good leg? Did I not always wear clean lining? Was not my hand washed, my beard combed, my cloak brushed, and my shoes blacked every morning?
True. Why, the more vilest strumpet she to cuckold you.
But how dost know she is with child?
Know it? Why, she's daily troubled with water pangs, and quakings over her stomach.
Indeed, I must needs say that's a great proof. She hath filled her belly with something that stood against her stomach. But dost not think 'tis my child?
Yours? Why, how can't be yours? Are you not circumcised to the quick?
Yes, and the remembrance of it galls me.
That's a sign ye are too patient, and like an ass endure all without resistance.
Ha ha ha!
But why do you laugh, sir?
To think who the child will be like.
Why, you! Who should it be like else?
Why, 'tis none of mine, man.
Why, the more like you for that. Why, do you not know the philosophers hold the child is always like the party which the mother thinks of in the conception? Now she thought most of you, for fear you should have come the whiles, and that's the reason so many gentlemen's sons are like your citizens, and calls them fathers too, for otherwise how could it be that a young cockney being left 40 or 50,000 pounds spends all within so many months, but that some young gallant begat him? For you know the proverb be, cat will after kind. No, had the old citizen begotten him, he would have bit a fig and two to have made just weight, and have had a pot with a false bottom, rather than a soul too much measure. He would have done all things within measure, as your old citizen did, and not to spend all beyond measure, as your young gallants do.
But were not I best go home and use her well, till the child be born, to see if it be like me, that I may be sure 'tis none of mine?
Oh no, that were base, and as deceitful as the colic when it breaks out in wind, which levels at a man's heel, and it strikes him in the nose. Therefore, never make a show of one thing and do another, but put her away, rid your hands of her, and there's an end.
I think who's the father of the bastard?
Why, who's the father of a punk's child? Is not Filius Populi? It may have two fathers, for anything we know.
Well, Slack, I do very much mistrust Wages, too, for he is grown very familiar of late.
True, sir, and takes her part too, and ye mark him.
I mark him. No, Slack, no, pray heaven ye mark not me, but I'll instantly sue out a divorce. Hap what hap shall, but ill's his hap whose wife lies down to all.
Exit Night. Enter Wages.
Of all honest animals, your cuckold is the best, for he is sure a gentleman, and known by his crest.
Of all occupations that ever man professed, in my opinion still doth hold, the cut-purse is the best.
And why the cut-purse?
Because he will trust no man, for as soon as he hath done his work, he is sure to have his money in his hand.
Nay, then a lawyer is the better trade for that, for he is sure of his money before he doth his work.
But I pray thee, what's the news abroad now?
Why, they say the world is like a bias bowl, and it runs all on the rich men's sides. Others say 'tis like a tennis ball, and fortune keeps such a racket with it, as it tosses it into time's hazard, and that devours all. And, for my part, they say 'twill shortly run upon wheels with me, for my master swears he will have me carted, because he thinks I have lain with my lady.
Nay, then 'twill run upon wheels with thee indeed. But peace, fool, peace. When thou art once married, that suspect will die.
Peace, fool, peace, sayest thou, when I am married? Dost hear? I tell thee, there is no peace in marriage, unless it be with a dumb woman. No, nor but little comfort neither.
No way. Why, doth the ballad say then, so sweet a thing is love that rules both heart and mind, there is no comfort in the world to women that are blind.
Kind man, the ballad says.
Mass, I think ye be kind indeed, yet blind's the better of the two, I think. For, as thou say'st, if she be dumb, I'm sure she'll say nothing that shall offend her husband. If blind, she'll see nothing that shall offend her. And where he nor she's offended, there must needs be a peace. But besides this, is there no peace, think'st thou, in the marriage of a wife?
Yes, by the man's side, like a gentleman only by the father's side, but 'twill ne'er be any perfect peace.
Why wilt thou marry, then?
Because I hope to have some good behaviour of my wife, for the peace I never look for. But soft, ye fellows slack, methinks your suit is like a hard-hearted landlord. It begins to receive great rents.
Ay, who would my master had given me a suit of buff when he gave me this?
Foh! Buff is naught, man. That hath been out of request ever since soldiers have been out of date, and they, poor men, are now used like almanacs of the last year, either clap up behind the door, or thrust clean out of door. But if thou wilt have a suit that shall last indeed, lad, get thee a suit of law.
Oh, I do not like such suits, for commonly they that have many of them go almost naked for want of clothes. Yet I cannot deny but they are very lasting, but they are subject to many discommodities. So, if there be any goodness in one of them, your lawyers, like moths, each road holes to it, but your country attorneys, like lice, never leave writing and wrangling till they have crept into it, but when it hath been well worn and grown threadbare, they even like lice drop off and leave it.
What sayest thou by a suit at court, then?
Ay, marry, sir, I like that well, for commonly he that hath but one suit when he comes there hath two ere he come away, for if he sue by petition, it lies so long in your courtier's pocket that it is another suit to get his petition back again. There is none suddenly dispatched of his suit there but a tailor. Marry, he stays not at all, unless his suit be to have money for his suit, and so he makes his suit two suits too ere he go. But come, shall we go see what follows after our master's new divorce?
Why, is he divorced?
Ay, I think by this time, for he swore he would be presently. By my troth, I am sorry for it, for in my conscience it is without cause. It grieves me to see him in these humours, for, I thank his worship, he hath ever used me well. I am bound to pray for his life.
And methinks that's a strange thing. I see no reason for it that any serving man should pray for his master's life, considering all that he hath is in reversion of him. But come, let's follow him, for if he miss us, he'll fret like a grogram, aye, and fume like a stew-pot.
And let him fume. Oh, would his gulf would burst with indignation, then should his temper appropriate my bliss, and I enjoy that saint incarnate. But what shall I do? Since base nor noble shape can win, a third I'll try. And if that fail, knight, go to church and pray, for vengeance wings brings on thy lethal day.
Exeunt. Enter the old lord alone.
He that a long way voyage takes in hand fears dangerous gusts at sea and storms. At land, conquering cold that cripples cursed age, and doubts lest every cloud should prove a storm, and beat his wearied carcass to the earth. But oh, I would to God my longest journey unto death were to be ta'en. For I do cast no doubts, having lost all comforts. My son, I fear, is dead. The loss of him makes life to me but like a blister on my flesh, which grieves me much, and naught can ease, unless it breaks. Oh, whilst he lived, his presence was a force unto my age, and gave it such a lustre as did enrich my ring of life. For life is but a ring, beginning in our weakness, going round, till unto weakness we return again, then to the ground. The world itself is but a skilful game of chesses, which being ended, kings and queens, bishops and knights, into one bag are thrown at last. So all of us, both poor and rich, shall in the end into the earth, as into a bag be cast. Man's life is like unto a ship that crossed by tempests and by tides. Some thoughts of his, like billows, swell him up aloft, another strikes him down. Thus man as on a sea is tossed. In fairest weather fears a storm, and in a storm the event. But in the end he sinks when life is spent. Grief hath no bounds in tears. It ebbs and flows, till it have drowned life and ended woes.
Exit. Enter Lady, Nan, and Wages.
But, Wages, is there no means, think'st thou, to turn by it, nor to force back his stream of wrath?
Yes, I'll warrant ye, madam. If you'll be ruled by me, you shall see I'll make him seek to be friends with you, and entreat me to speak for him too. But then I would have you seem a little strange. But you shall directly rail on him. Therefore I would have ye hide yourselves here behind the hangings, for 'twill not be long ere he come this way, and then you shall come forth and frame your behaviour according as our discourse shall require.
Mass, here we come. Let's stand close.
We will, and heaven assist thy projects.
Enter Knight.
Now, Wages, what news with you?
That which I think will help you from being divorced.
What's that?
Why, your lady is not with child.
Is't possible?
Why, how should she, unless some hobgoblin, some incubus, or spirit of the buttery should beget it? Why, she, since you were gelded, never saw a man but through a window. She hath never trod her foot awry, for fear some ill construction should attend her steps, which, like a boundless ocean deep enraged, would drown her reputation.
Not with child, sayest thou?
Not of my word, sir.
Wages, I would thou wouldst but do some charitable offices.
What, make ye friends again?
True.
But you'll prove false and break that friendship.
Never, as I hope to be reconciled. Therefore tell me, wilt thou do it?
Truly I would do my good will, but I fear 'twill be but labour lost.
I pray thee do but try. If faith, thou shalt not lose thy pains.
Oh, lass, sir, you know I must feed on quails.
That was in my fury, man. But wilt thou not do it?
Pray, sir, if you can get some other friend to speak in't, do.
Well, thou wilt leave me now then?
Alas, sir, what would you have me do? By my troth, sir, I am ashamed to speak in't. Have ye not gelded and cut off all the content of marriage? Why, they that have the full performance of it, 'tis as much as they can do to please their wives, and you, that want all ability, must not only please her now, but make her amends for the wrong you have done her heretofore. And how have I the face to promise that which I know you have no means to perform it?
Alas, man, I'll do my good will.
Do your good will, and that's much worth, sure. Yet, since you have been my master, the world shall not say but I'll do what I can. I'll persuade what I may. Ye shall see there shall be no fault in me.
Enter the lady and Nan.
Mass, here she comes. What will you do now?
Oh, I'll hide me here, and so I shall hear all what she says.
Oh, this is excellent. Come, and stand close. Ye shall hear how I'll speak for ye, and, if ye hear your pardon granted, come forth.
I warrant ye.
Morrow, madam.
Morrow, Wages.
Morrow, Mistress Nan.
Morrow, Wages.
The fox is caught, his head is in the noose.
Peace, speak soft, persuade, persuade.
Faith, madam, I have a suit unto you, but I am half ashamed to speed in't.
Slight, the rogue says he is ashamed to speak for me. Hist, Wages, hist, Wages.
Madam, your man would make an ill suitor, that is ashamed to speak in his suit.
What the devil ail you? What, are you mad? You'll be spied anon.
A pox on thee! Art not ashamed to tell her that thou art ashamed to speak for me? Hist, hist, Wages.
I think the fool rides you. What will you have?
Dost hear, Wages? Speak for me, and by this light I'll mend thy wages.
By how much?
40 shillings.
40 shillings?
£3, £3.
Give me your hand. I'll do it.
But what's your suit, Wages?
That you would forgive your husband.
What? And receive his love again, you mean?
Ay, madam.
Marry, that were a jest indeed. Being as he is now, a woman would be loath to turn him amongst her ducks. Truly, Wages, I am ashamed in your behalf that a man of your discretion would urge it. Therefore, prithee, speak no more on it. I'll tell thee what. I could find in my heart to speak for him myself, but that 'tis such a jealous fool that if he catch but a flea in her bed, he will be searching to see if it be a male or a female, for fear he comes to cuckold him. Well, Wages, well, to tell thee truly, I bear no malice, and if I wist he would amend, I should forgive and love him with my heart again.
Enter Knight.
If faith, I will, wife.
Why, how now, Wages? Have you betrayed us?
Ay, madam, but 'tis into the hands of those that love ye.
Well, Wages, well, I did not think you would have used us thus.
Is there honesty in this, to set a man behind the hangings to eavesdrop our words?
Be not angry, sweet wife. If faith it was my plot, but you have been a heavy enemy of mine.
'Twas more for my credit than to have been your liked friend.
Be friends with me, good wife, for here I do confess.
Your jealousy sprung from your own unworthiness.
'Tis true.
Then in hope you'll kinder prove I am content. For this know, a woman's heart will soon relent.
Then come, sweet wife, let's in, and Wages, thy pains deserves to be requited, for separated hearts hast thou united.
Exeunt omnes. Enter Nucome, singing with a glass in his hand, and making himself ready.
La 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 la. They marched out manly by 3, and by 3, and the foremost in battalion was Mary Ann Bree. Will you hear of a Spanish lady, how she wooed an Englishman? Hum, hum, hum. Boy?
Here, sir.
Is the tailor gone?
Gone, sir.
Go fetch me my doublet there.
I go, sir.
Exit Boy.
Hum, hum, hum. By the greatest terror to gentility, which indeed is creditors and sergeants, this rogue tailor came upon me with such a bill as a man were better have 10 constables and their watchers come upon him with their bills. Why, good words or a dozen of ale will please them, but nothing will stop this rogue's mouth but money. And yet, I faith, I am greatly in his books, for though I misuse him never so much, yet the rogue durst not cross me.
Enter Boy.
Let me see, boy. Mass! 'Tis a pretty doublet.
The tailor, sir, entreats you to remember your day.
My day? God light! My day? Why, what doth he take me for, I think?
He takes you for a gentleman, sir, I think.
A gentleman, and remember my day? No, I'll hold my life he takes me for some merchant or a citizen, but I'll make him know my strength. Ere I leave him, he shall find a second Samson of me. I can break my bonds, boy. I can.
But come, sir, will you try your doublet first?
Oh, aye. Come, pluck. But take heed of my ruff, I pray thee. This doublet is too little. A pox in him.
Not now, he is on, sir.
No, when he is off, I mean, boy.
Believe it, sir, but it becomes you well, though.
Doth it indeed? Mass, I think it do. Methinks I have a reasonable good leg in it.
So you have, sir, but your heel is a little too short.
Yea, why too short?
Because your long heel, sir, doth always best become your great calf.
Why? My calf is not very great.
Oh, sir, yes. Why, a man shall not see a greater calf of your age, for I think you are not above 20.
Not so much, but come help off my doublet now.
I will, sir.
Come, I'll see how 'twill look here. And go thou and watch the door, that nobody come the whilst. Hum, hum, hum. If I had a band for it.
Why? That's about your neck, sir.
But what if anybody should come the whilst?
Why do not I keep the door?
Mass, that's true. Hum, hum, hum. Oh, 'tis Master Nucome. I know him. A fine gentleman, I faith. I'll salute him by and by as I pass. Master Nucome, I take it. I cry ye heartily, merci. Good Master Nucome, I am glad to see you're in good health, sir. I shall entreat you to pardon me. I protest, I did not know you in that suit. You have a very fair doublet on. The gods give you joy, sir. There's never a lord in the land may be ashamed to wear it, sir.
Rap, 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 rap.
God's light! Carry away my doublet. Quickly, quickly, quickly!
I warrant ye, sir.
Enter a messenger. Enter a servingman.
God's precious! My band! Oh, what shall I do now?
By your leave, sir, my mistress, Mistress Peg, sent to see how your worship doth.
I thank her very heartily. I pray commend me to her.
I'll do your commendations, sir, but I pray you be covered, sir. I pray you be covered.
I thank ye heartily. 'Tis for mine ease. The weather is hot, hot, very hot.
So it is indeed, sir. Well, sir, by your leave, sir, I'll be so bold, sir, as to carry your commendations, sir.
Do so, good friend. Farewell, farewell.
Exit serving.
What a beast was I to put off my band! Yet the grief the less because he came from Peg, which is a wench, I must confess, dotes on my exterior virtues. But I can by no means affect her, only because the poor wretch, in heat of her passion, shall not melt herself away in tears.
She sometimes enforceth me to swear and protest. I affect her. Marry, always with mental reservations on my soul's health. For you know sometimes it is policy. Courtiers and statesmen should use fallacy.
Exit Nucome. Enter the lady with a servant.
Give charge unto the cook he make not too much haste with supper, for I hope your master will be here tonight. And look you keep fast the door, let no man trouble me.
I will, madam.
Now thanks, gentle heavens. Oh, be you smiling still on my designs, and let your influence pour down good fortunes. And be not angry, nor no more malevolent, but make my husband's reconcilement irrevocable.
Enter Captain Woodley and Servingman.
Sir, I shall be shent for letting of you in.
S'blood, I tell thee, I will speak with her. What? Wouldst thou bar my chance when my whole fortunes lie on ye cast?
O heaven, stars, fates! God smile not like summer on these wasps no longer, that daily buzzing come to sting my honour.
Save thee, sweet lady. I hear thy husband is from home, which makes me come to tender thee my person's love.
Your parson's love, sir, is most commonly a benefice. Oh, that I should be troubled with this ass now! Do you hear, sir? If my husband should come and find you here, we were both undone.
Your husband? Your husband is an ass by this light, and he should offer you but an ill look in my sight, 'twere better ye no eyes. But 'tis your own fault that would not ere now accept of the love of a soldier, to have kept the slave in some awe.
Oh, how reproachfully the captain swaggers! I'll away for fear he grow furious.
Exit servant.
But dost hear me, sweet lady? I have loved thee long, and must now enjoy thee. Fear nothing. This warlike sword of mine shall defend thine honour. This martial blade shall do it. Life it shall, i' faith.
Rap, rap, rap.
Hark! Hark! My husband is come.
She looks through the door.
Your husband? Ha! Where? Where?
'Tis not he? But I'll try my captain's valour now. Oh, sir! My husband! What shall I do now? He had a pistol in his hand, too. He will kill us both.
A pistol? Gods, my life! What shall I do then? I pray, hide me somewhere.
Oh, no! As ye love me, must enjoy me, and will defend my honour, draw forth this warlike sword. This is the martial blade must do it. Therefore I beseech you, good captain, now or never.
God's precious woman, he hath a pistol, a sword, no shield against a bullet.
Oh, no, no. 'Tis but a sword, now I think on it.
That's all one, for love's sake, hide me, if you can.
Why? Durst you not encounter with him sword to sword?
Durst? Yes, I durst, and beat him too, but for your reputation, your honour, it will call your name in question.
Rap, rap, rap.
Oh, 'tis no matter for that. Hark, hark, defend me but from his fury now, and I care not for that.
Death of man, what should I do now? Why, look ye, lady, in your defence I would beat him like a dog, but he will have the law on me. He will undo me with actions.
She looks at the door again.
Believe me, captain, I have been mistaken all this while. 'Tis but a poniard that he hath in his hand.
Soul of valour, woman, the most dangerous thing in the world. He may either throw it or stab suddenly.
Faith, captain, I know not where I should hide you.
Why, anywhere, sweet lady, and it be under your farthingale.
No, no. Come, stand here.
Where? Oh, quickly, pray, quickly.
Stand close, take heed. Do not move till I call you.
I warrant ye.
Well, Captain, I hope I have cooled your courage for coming here again. And now I'll see who is at the door.
She opens the door and enters Master Exhibition.
Your fair lips, fair lady.
Oh, yet more flesh flies. What shall I do with them? Well, I fear fortune hath dealt me a bad game by the shuffling of her cards thus that these two knaves should come together.
You have a pretty sweet dwelling here, lady. I will even presume here to uncase myself.
Then I am sure we shall have music, for they say every fool is a fiddle to the company.
He capers 3 or 4 times.
What? Have you never a pair of virginals in the house, lady?
Indeed, that were good music for the merchant's daughter, but 'tis not good for students of the Inns of Court.
Have you ever a lute, then?
Neither indeed, sir.
Faith, lady, I remember the first time I saw you was in quadragesimo of the Queen, in Michaelmas term, and, as I think, it was the morrow upon the Mense Michaelis, or Crestino Animarum, I cannot well tell which, but it was at the christening of Justice Warren's child, and the second time I saw you was at our revels, where it pleased your ladyship to grace me with a galliard, and I shall never forget it, for my Vellner pantables were stolen away the whilst.
I was beholding to you for so costly a galliard.
In troth, not a whit, lady, for I must confess unto you that I have been miraculously taken with your beauty ever since Primo of the King. It may be you fear to entertain my love, because there are a number of idle fellows of our society, I must needs confess, which are very scandalous to the reputation of ladies. But those are but your punies lately come from the university, such as take so much on them by the reading of Aristotle's problems, as they think they could teach their own fathers to make children. But I am none of those. I love you, and if you doubt it, be you but to the charge to sue out a dedimus prosentatime, and I'll presently make ye affidavit of my affection.
Pray Jove he do not conjure in Welsh, for I know not what he says.
Or make me a lease but for term of life of your love and the remainder of your husband, provided always, if your husband alien, or put away, it may be lawful for me to enter, but if I alien, or put away your affection, let it be then lawful for your foresaid husband again to receive, and then to have, hold, manere and occupy in statu quo prius, that is, in the state before, and I do not doubt but your grant in this case will be good, for there is a case that proves this in Quinto of Richard III. A patron was seized of an Ottawasin in fee, with 2 nuns appendant, and thereto presented a parson with a proviso, ye, if the incumbent should alien grant, demise, let, set, or otherwise put away the premises, or any part or parcel thereof, that then it should be lawful for the patron, or his assigns, in and upon the whole, to re-enter. The incumbent aliened, the patron entered, the quare was whether those 2 nuns were any part of the premises, and by virtue of the proviso, subject to ye re-entry, and after long dispute it was agreed by all the court that the entry was good as well in the 2 nuns as the rest of the premises. Then, much more in this case, where we are both laymen.
Sure this fellow thinks he has some right to me, and he hopes to win me by law. But what think ye if my husband should come and enter now upon us 2? In what case were you?
Why, well enough. Perchance he would complain of me to the bench, and then I should be put out of commons. That's the worst he could do, and that's nothing, for I was once put out of commons before for beating of the panyard man, and in again within 3 days after.
Enter a servant.
Oh, madam, what will you do? My master is come, as I am a living man.
Oh, lass, sir, what shall I do with you?
Why, hide me somewhere. Cannot ye hide me here?
Oh, no, no, no. He doth use to search all the house still, to see if he can find anybody here. But I'll tell ye what ye shall do. Draw out your rapier, and go out against him, and whatsoever question he ask you, make him no answer, but only say, ye doubt not for all this, but you shall meet him, and be revenged well enough in another place. And leave the rest to me.
I warrant ye.
Exeunt exhibition and servant. Enter knight.
Come out, man.
Slight woman, your husband will see me.
Precious man, that's all one. Come out, draw your sword. Hold it in your hand, make some show of resistance.
Blood woman, he hath a pistol.
He has none. By this hand I did but jest.
Nor no other weapon?
Nor no other weapon.
I' faith?
Why will ye not believe me? In faith he hath not.
Well then, nay, I care not if he had.
Enter knight and wages.
Why, how now, wife, what's the matter? What stir have we here?
Why, husband, did you not meet a man with a rapier drawn in his hand?
Yes, and here's another.
Alas, husband, he would have killed this poor gentleman, but that he came and ran in here for shelter, and because I would not suffer him spoil him here in your house, he is gone in such a rage as you never saw.
My faith, and he swore indeed that he would be revenged in another place, did he not, Wages?
He did indeed, sir.
Believe me, and he might easily have slain you, sir, for he had a very long rapier.
True, I know myself he had the better weapon, or else I would never have stood so against him.
Ay, had I such a rapier, I would have made him run like an Irish lackey.
Ay, to have overtaken ye.
Well, wife, believe me, I thank ye for this, for I would not for the wealth of all this town he should ha' hurt him in my house. Well, sir, you shall sup with me, and after supper I'll conduct you to your lodging myself, but fear nothing.
I thank you, sir.
Exeunt knight, lady, captain. End of Act 4. Act 5 of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Actus Quinti. Scena Prima. Enter knight and slack.
Why, did you not perceive it?
Not, I protest.
Oh, monstrous! Why did she not say herself she knew he had the better weapon, for which cause she stood against him, meaning bawdry, flat bawdry, and yet you could not perceive it? Now, by this light, had you slept but 1 foot lighter, ye had taken them in the very fact. But you go dreaming, hanging down your head, that 'tis no marvel your wife makes you a cuckold, for the husband being the wife's head, why, when the head goes down thus, the heels must needs mount up.
I'll never more hear of reconcilement, but be divorced immediately.
Straight put her away. Why, you may have wives enough.
Oh, wives too much.
There's your wife's kinswoman, Mistress Peg. She is fair, modest, honest, chaste, wise, sober, rich, virtuous, discreet, and honourable.
And would he be acquainted with me, sayest?
Who?
The man thou speakest of.
Why, I speak of none. I talk of a woman.
And have all these good conditions?
Ay, why not?
Dost know her?
Ay.
Hark then, rent a chamber, hang out her picture, take 12 pence a piece at the least, For enough will come, I know, to see that which none else can show.
Slight, I think the man be mad. But will ye not have her, sir?
Yes, if thou tell true, who would not have her? But first make winged speed to purchase my divorce. Hold, here's money. Make haste, use no delay, for all men must for expedition pay.
I go, and you shall be divorced, or else my brain shall sweat. For what your folly loseth, my wit shall get.
Exit Slack at one door, and enter Wages at the other.
O Wages, I'll tell thee news. I have sent for a divorce, and what wilt thou say when I am married to a new wife?
Then, sir, will I say as the proverb says, marriage and hanging comes by destiny. But if ye be divorced and will follow my counsel, you shall hang yourself rather than marry again.
No, Wages, I do not hold that so good. For sure, marriage is better than hanging in some.
True in some respect, and that only because you have a longer time of repentance. But I pray, sir, is't a Christian that you mean to marry?
A Christian? Ay, why, dost think I would marry a Jew?
I do not like that so well, sir, because it is the fashion amongst them to send capons to their godfathers for New Year's gifts. And upon my life, sir, she'll one time or other clap you up in a basket, and send you away for good handsell. But I pray, sir, who is it?
Peg. Is she not a fine gentlewoman?
Beyond praise.
Hath she not a piercing eye?
And 'twere a ferret.
A delicate nose.
And it were a mulberry.
Teeth like 2 rows of orient pearl.
But the string is broken, and many of them are fallen out.
Hands as white as Pelops' shoulder.
Ay, and as thick too.
Wages.
Sir?
Go to her, and measure by thy protestations the depth of my affections. Tell her what I will be to her, not what I have been to others. If she allege to thee her cousin's presupposed wrongs, tell her I well could have been hoodwinked to her cousin's faults, so I had never seen her face.
But what shall I tell her if she say you are gelded?
Ay, there's it indeed. There's no excuse for that. Yet thou mayst tell her I did it only to preserve my voice. Deliver this jewel to her hand, and with it even my heart's affection.
I will, sir. And if the wenches close my projects carry, spite of mischance, you shall your own wife marry.
Exit Wages.
Now must I be frolic, learn to speak well, and woo with a good garb. And now I think on't, I have a pretty conceit of mine own. I will tell her that the wooing of a young wench is the felling of a tree, and the getting of her friend's goodwill like the lopping of the tree. Therefore, first it behooves me to hew down the tree, and then I'll climb with ease. But if at first to fell it I be not able, to assay to climb it shall be in vain. Welcome! Hast thou brought the divorce?
Enter Slack.
'Tis here, sir.
Come then, let's in. It joys me much that thou so soon hast sped, for hours seem years till it be published.
Exeunt omnes. Enter Lady, Nan, and Peg.
But tell me, good madam, why are you so melancholy?
To think upon the saucy importunity of my servant Slack. He is like a badge on a coat. He is never off my sleeve, and yet I shun him like the pest.
And he follows you like infection.
Nay, I would he did so by me. For I protest I love him beyond my thoughts. I covet nothing like his company, and yet he hates me, loathes my sight. But then comes the Welshman, your love, and he hangs on my lips like a padlock on a peddler's budget.
And hates me as much, For if I come but near him, he swears I am like a kibe, always at his heels.
Come, madam, do not grieve at that which grief can no way mend.
I would not, if I could mend that which doth cause my grief.
Enter Wages.
News! News!
What news?
You are divorced!
Why? Divorced? Why? Speak.
Nay, I cannot speak the cause, madam, but questionless, 'tis true. And, Mistress Peg, my master now makes love to you.
To me?
To thee, aye, to thee. Go thy ways, thou shalt be a lady. I ever thought thou wouldst come to some promotion, as the boy did that had a bag and a staff and begged for himself. But how dost thou know he is in love with her?
Know it? Why, I have seen him stand an hour together behind an oaken tree, calling it sweet mistress, kind Peg, and making speeches to it.
As how? As how? Prithee, how?
Stand you for the tree, and I'll speak for my master.
I will, and that most stiffly, in faith.
Then thus he begins. Dear Mistress Peg, I must confess.
Nay, then he is a dead man already.
Why?
Why? Confess and be hanged ever.
Oh, ho, but I mean he doth confess she's fair.
That's all one. He's but one man, and one witness can never prove her fair. But prithee, on with thy speech.
Why, then, this fair mistress I must confess.
But he will not confess before witness, will he?
Push! Did not I tell you he would speak to an oak?
Nay, then that will be a strong proof indeed.
Proof? Nay, if that be not proof, how say by this token?
Ay, marry, sir. Would we had more such tokens of his love?
This, mistress, he hath sent to you.
Look you, madam, your husband now makes love to me.
Sir, how pert thou art. Why, look, women, your lover's mad woos me, and to me sent this ring.
And my man, the man you so esteem, spite of refusal, left with me this chain.
This chain? Forever may he linked be to woe that hates my love and woes another so.
Well, let's in, and be but patient all a while. For if the worst do fall that ever did fall, a plot's in chase that shall outstrip them all.
Exeunt omnes. Enter Knight and Cupid before him.
Now, if she should refuse my jewel and contemn my love, or contemn my love and take my jewel, what a fool was I to send her a token till I had some token of her affection. As if women might be wooed with gifts, for when we give them those things which most we love, they do esteem we love them better than those things we give, when they, poor fools, do but deceive themselves, for we do give as merchants venter for a treble. Again we send them tokens only to get them and their portions. But there comes my persecutor.
Enter Lady.
Why dost thou haunt me like a ghost, thou female sinner? Thou hast not Holy Church in thy power with all his commandments to keep me from thy unhallowed presence. How durst thou break the edict pronounced by the mouth of Holy Churchman? Art thou not divorced? Is not our separation blown into the people's ears, even by Jehovah's chosen trumpeter? First thou didst break thy vow to me, and madest of every Priapus a trumpet on which thou blowedst thine own infamy. Therefore avoid, thou leavened lump of sinfulness, avoid!
O my still beloved husband, like filth or dirt, do not flee me like a serpent which comes to sting thy bosom. I come to kiss thee. Sweet, let not suspect divorce me from thy presence, though from thy bed. For if you will trust this masked face, I know no fountain purer than my love would show.
I fly and hate thee like a serpent's hissing, which comes to sting me with pretence of kissing.
Exit Knight.
O fainty tears and feeble hands, for ever may you close, and never part till sharpest grief have cut the heartstrings of my life. Or else let this same brain of mine dissolve to tears, and drop itself even drop by drop, until it makes a sea of woes, that therein I may drown my wretched life.
Enter Slack.
Alas, poor lady, I pity your calamity, and grieve to see you bruised by my master's injury, which makes your eyes like sponges drop these brinish tears, and spoils a face such as was never better one framed by the skilful hand of nature.
Avoid, thou slave! How durst thou woo me? I am like a star to thee, my orbs above thee.
Oh, then my love is the most clear and brightest star. Look not with a malevolent aspect upon me, but let your eyes bright raise up my life, and so extol my thoughts into a heaven of joy.
Perish may thyself and love together. Heavens grant again I never may hear of either.
Exit Lady.
What shall I do?
Enter Nan.
Respect her most, that most of all loves you. Oh, do not turn away those eyes, whose radiant beams first nursed my flame.
Avoid, thou unresistible torturer, more fretting to my thoughts than cankers are to metals. How often have I told thee of my hatred? For of this be thou sure, and still remembered. Deep hate, like love, can hardly be dissembled.
Exit Slack.
Ay, dost thou hate me then? O brightest Venus, now or never make thy blind son see, and wound his heart, whose hate hath wounded me.
Enter Nucome.
Oh, here she is. Pray God my band sit well. Fair lady, may I presume with the bee to suck honey from thy lips? For I dreamed the last night.
Nay, I thought he would brew me dreaming like a Welshman.
That I was transfigured, metamorphosed, or transformed into a flea in thy bed.
But did I not kill ye then?
Methought you did. But first I dreamt I stung you.
Yet again dreaming. I'll talk no more, but be gone, for fear I wake him.
Exit Nan.
And then methought, as I was skipping from your knee unto your thigh, and so forth, you told a gentleman of it, a friend of yours, who most courtly and softly, putting in his hand to catch me. Precious! She's gone? Sure, 'tis the acuteness of my ingenuity, which makes my jests so stinging as she cannot endure them. I must needs eat some of your new court-wort to grow, to qualify my invention.
Enter Peg.
Thou needst not, love. Speak what thou wilt, if gently thou do speak. Thy words to me are much more musical than is a siren's voice. Orpheus himself could never strain his high-stretched strings to such melodious sounds, as when thy voice doth pierce the ear.
'Tis but for my wit she loves me. I sent her tricks already. For courtiers must as well thriving be, have noses to smell out, as eyes to see.
Exit Nucome.
Despised and left alone, filled brimful of grief, and no way to unload me of my cares but through these running eyes in streams of tears.
Enter Night.
Whose tears like to a clear yet poisoned source have with their vapours through these eyes, the windows to my heart, infected all my thoughts. Thy eyes do shoot forth glances like to stars, though seated in a moist and rainy sky, the which hath wounded even my heart, and I must die, lest Achilles, lance-like, healed by your eye.
I pray you seek somewhere else if you be ill, for I in surgery have little skill.
Exit Peg.
I'll follow my suit, not ceasing till the most of trial, for he's a fool in love that takes denial.
Exit Night.
Here hath been a maze, a round, a whirling in love. How like the spokes of a lady's coach wheels, they run one after another. And, as of them you see neither, so none of these can overtake either. For though you see them thus forsaken, they shall be married, but mistaken, which for performance yet awhile I must be labouring to beguile. Only the men, and make them venter, to run a circle far from centre of their hopes, yet for their good, where blinded each like hawk in hood, shall marry better than they wooed.
Exit Cupid. Enter Lady in Wages.
Nay, madam, it must needs be so, or else the priest will never marry me.
And so you would have us all be married masked?
True, to which you all may easily persuade your lovers, telling them with my marriage will be with much the less suspect affected.
But say, who shall know us when our faces be not seen?
The better, for then you shall appoint each one of them to choose you by their own tokens, which you, within yourselves, shall change. Mistress Peg shall wear Mistress Nan's ring, Mistress Nan your chain, and you Mistress Peg's jewel.
But shall they need to come masked too?
Oh, aye, by any means, only for some private reasons unto me, in which persuasion, if you will practice that you know, you will prevail.
I'll do my best most willingly.
Then come, madam, let's in. I know it will do. For this is held a principle in schools, love makes not fools wise men, but wise men fools.
Exeunt omnes. Enter 4 boys.
Nominatio, hic haec hoc. A noun is a name of a thing. Amo, amas, amavi, amare. In speech be these 8 parts.
Enter Master Correction and Wages.
I promise you, sir, I had dined forth today, but that you see the weather is cloudy and the heavens lower on my delights.
I pray you, sir, whose son is that bigger boy?
It is Master Parmesan's son, the cheesemonger, and next to him is Master Cavator's son, the ferryman. 2 very pretty sparks, I'll assure you. Tobias Parmesan, come hither, Tobias. Hold up your head, Tobias, and look, you can see a penny in my brow. So, 'tis well done. What part of speech is mentula?
A noun adjective.
And why a noun adjective?
Because it stands not by himself, but it requires another word to be joined with it.
Mark you, sir, I teach both substance and meaning. I do not teach as your common people. D-O-B-A-B-B bottles. Go sit you down again, Tobias. Timothy, come ye hither. Timothy, how construe you this verse, Timothy? I am, taciturus sidera summa putes.
I am, O John Putes. Do thou put sidera, summa, Syra and summer, tactorus in tankards.
A very forward child, I promise ye.
Go sit you down again. Will you hear them all examined, sir?
Most willingly, good Master Correction.
Ye shall, sir. Sir, I have taken as much pains with them as any poet whatsoever could have done, to make them answer upon their cue with good action, distinction, and deliberation. Ha ha ha! How many devils are there?
Number infinite.
Look you, sir, there are an infinite number of devils. What is the devil?
A wicked spirit.
What is the nature of that wicked spirit?
To work mischief.
On whom doth it work mischief?
On all mankind.
When hath he most power to work mischief?
When man hath taken his liquor.
With what visitations, then, deludes he mankind?
With strange earthquakes.
What is the man's best comfort?
To sleep and slumber.
Look ye now, sir, are they not pretty children?
Very pretty, and well taught, I'll assure you, sir.
Sir, I will tell you, notwithstanding all these pains I take with them, yet how unkindly their parents use me. They suffer their younger children to bewray the church porch, and no longer since then Monday last came the official, and there, being angry with me about other matters, he threw that in my dish, as if I could have helped it. But I answered him sufficiently, for I told him they that did it were but the children and the youth, and youth would break out in spite of his nose, or the best man's nose in the parish.
I think ye spend most of your time with your scholars here. Ye keep little other company.
Yes, sometimes, sir. Here was yesterday Master Nucome the courtier. Do you not know him, sir?
Oh, very well, sir.
He is a fine gentleman, a good scholar and an excellent naturalist, and truly fell into a great disputation. Peace, these boys there! And our argument was whether a fool or a wise man made the best lawyer. He stood for the wise man, and I, most scholastically, stood for the fool, and thus I began my syllogism. Peace, these boys, when I bid ye! Your wise man, said I, useth few words, your fool much babbling. Your best lawyers use much babbling. Ergo, your fools make the best lawyers.
And believe me, sir, 'twas well proved.
A flash, a foolish school point, a foolish school point.
But could he any way answer this?
Oh, aye, and confuted me too, only by reason of a scurvy old proverb which says, children and fools do always tell true, but your best lawyers do not always tell true. Ergo, your fools make not your best lawyers. A most strong and strange argument.
I pray, Master Correction, let me entreat a play day for your scholars.
Oh, Master Wages, they do nothing else. They do nothing but play. Nothing but play.
Nay, good sir, do not deny me, for I have some private business with you of great importance.
Nay then, sir, you shall prevail indeed. You shall, yet I remember, Dionysus ille tyrannus, Siciliae crudellissimus, crudellissimus Siciliae tyrannus ille Dionysus, says to one of his pupils, Huc ades haec animo, concipe dicatuo. So I say unto you, all my masters, revere majores, pluck off your hat to your betters, and look ye give the woman the wall, and so go your ways.
Gratias, 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 gratias!
Exeunt omnes scholars. Enter Mistress Correction.
Morrow, Mistress Correction?
Morrow, good wages.
Morrow, sweet wife, sweet frisset, sweet nuptial.
Oh, Master Wages, how doth your good master, Sir Timothy Troublesome? What, doth he think he is a cuckold still?
An arrant cuckold, wife, believe it.
Come, come, husband, you are such another. Why do you say so?
Because it is true, wife.
Sir Master Correction, you are mistaken. I think he be no cuckold.
Good Master Wages, talk no more of cuckolds. I would they were all in the sea for my part.
Husband, can you swim?
No, wife, nor I desire not to learn.
I would have you, in any case, appoint with my husband, that I may come masked.
Peace, that plot is already drawn. Master Correction, I am sent unto you from my master, who commends his love unto you, entreating you will give your diligent attendance this evening at the church, because himself, upon his divorce, is privately to be married to a new wife. 3 other couples he brings with him, they all come masked, yet I will give you private notice what each one is. Only I must desire you not to fail.
Master Wages, your master is the helm by which my labours are governed, and tell him I will steer all the navy of my actions by his directions, and so, pray, commend me back to him.
Well, sir, then, till then, farewell.
The like to you, sir. Come, wife, I hope that thou shalt thrive, for as all your cockatrices maintain surgeons by their issues, so doth the priest and midwife agree. I set them together, they make work for thee.
And truly, husband, I'll come to their labours, be it at midnight, if they sent for me.
Exeunt omnes. Enter Lady, Nan, and Peg.
Doth my tire sit well, Nan?
Passing well, I assure you, madam.
Prithee, tell me too, how am I dressed?
Why, thou art very well dressed too, but basted admirably. For the threads sit in thy gown, marry thou wants a little cramming.
And that's a pity, for I can tell you, I am of myself a rare bit.
Nay, then thou art for the servingman, for your gallants, I can assure you, ride altogether with a snaffle.
Come, thou hast such a deal of wit.
Indeed I had, before I spent it amongst such unthankful persons as you are, Peg. But I prithee, pin my gown close before for it.
That I will, But why dost thou obscure thy bravery? This thy petticoat is a great deal richer than thy gown.
Faith, I wear my clothes as your gallants wear their wits, the best side inwards. I scorn to show it.
But for all this idle talk, I would we had appointed our marriage tomorrow morning.
Then the people would have stood gazing on us. And besides, we should have been like thee in Dutch, subject to every cobbler's interpretation. But now, being married in the evening, presently bedtime follows.
Foh! But 'tis not the fashion.
Hang fashion! I love it in nothing but my clothes.
Why, thou knowest 'tis not the fashion in all places to lie with one's own husband every night. Slight, I had rather lie with a man and never marry him than marry a man and never lie with him. Come, come, I speak my mind freely. I am none of these simpering wenches that come at every word and says, "Ay, forsooth," and "No, forsooth," and blushes at the sight of a child, it puts her in mind how 'twas made, and cries "Foh!" at a wanton jest in a play, and hearkens to a bawdy tale in her ear.
Ay, 'tis but dishonourable to marry thus in hugger-mugger. Men will say we are with child, and are ashamed to shew our faces.
Our faces? Why, our faces I hope do not show us to be with child. 'Tis old belly shows that, and I hope thou art quick flesh, not dead fish. Thou wilt not turn up the white of thy belly, wilt? But prithee tell me, was I not married yesterday?
Yesterday? Why dost ask?
Because, like a young married woman that's poisoned before she is bored, I begin to long already.
For what, I pray thee?
Faith, to be abed with my husband.
Alas, woman, those that are past childbearing used to long for that too.
Nay, but my longing yet, methinks, stretches a great deal longer. For I long to be a widow that I might have a new husband, yet not for any concupiscent desires that I have in the world.
No, I think so too, but only a desire thou hast to try the difference of men, and therefore I think thou wert best next to marry an old man with a white head, because thou mayest sleep quiet and not be troubled o' nights.
By this light, I had as lief marry a St. Davis leek. No, no, take this of me. Wherever thou seest the snow lie on the mountains, be assured there's no great heat in the valley.
Let me see. I would be a
priest's wife, I warrant ye, because thou wouldst fare costly and live lazily.
No, Nan, then marry a Londoner, for then thou shalt live a life and twere a lady, wear thy gold necklace, and go in thy velvet cap every day.
True, and then when thy husband is abroad in traffic for commodities in other countries, why, thou mayest deal at home for ready money.
No, not a Londoner, by no means.
No? Why?
Why, if they have plague amongst them 1 week, they all cry out of a dead time, straight. Besides, if they receive but a little loss at sea, they break straight, and where the husband breaks, you know the wife can no longer hold out. She must down too for want of maintenance.
Nay, then, marry a soldier, for questionless most of them will use their wives well, for they love their punks exceedingly.
Oh, but they have a vile fall too, for they always beget their children by day, and then they be squint-eyed. For when the father looks one way and the mother another, to see if anybody come the whilst, how can the child look right? What sayest thou by a civilian, Nan?
Oh no, by no means, for most of their posterity have ill luck. For what their fathers get by bawdy courts, they commonly spend it all again in bawdy houses. No, and ever I marry again, I'll marry an Irish merchant, because they all speak Latin, and indeed are most of them philosophers by fortune. Omnia mea mecum porto, for they carry all their ware in their breech. But come, let us make haste away. I fear our lovers do our coming stay.
Exeunt omnes. Enter the old lord and the merchant.
You see, Master Venter, the greatest comfort that is left me now is only in my neighbour's loves. Where are these knaves there?
Enter a servingman.
My lord.
What? Have they supped within?
Not yet, my lord.
Why so? Thou art an honest knave. Go see that none want wine.
I will, my lord.
Exit a serving man.
I would not have the worst complain of scarcity or want of anything. For, Master Venter, we shall carry nothing with us. For naked we into the world came, without that which we now possess and have, and without it we must unto the grave.
Enter Sir John Correction.
Oh, Sir John, Sir John, I thank you for your homily today. But if you have a fault, Sir John, the which in any of your scholars would deserve a whipping, you are come too late, aye, and to a feast and all. Well, 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 but you shall fare the worse for this, Sir John.
I would desire a word in private with your honour.
With all my heart.
They whisper.
They shall be welcome, even exceeding welcome, and I thank you too.
Exit Correction.
Hark you, neighbour, Sir John tells me that to honour me in this my predecessor's still accustomed feast, 4 new married couples are hither come in a mask, newly from the church, their feet not yet since their nuptials have kissed their own thresholds.
Enter Master Correction, Cupid, and the maskers dancing.
'Tis sign ye are well beloved, my lord.
I am indeed, Master Venter, I am indeed. Gentlemen and women, ye are all welcome, even with my heart, aye, with my heart, i'faith. O neighbour Venter, my son and your daughter now be married, what a joyful mask this would have been.
'Tis true, my lord, but they are fled beyond all hope of ever seeing them again.
'Tis true, yet, though the fruit gone be, my grief you see, like leaves stick fast upon this tree. But come, neighbour, come, let's sit and look upon this youthful dancing mirth, for youth and mirth have danced themselves out at heels with me. Nay, pray, gentlemen, unmask, that we may know to whom we shall be thankful for this honour.
The first couple unmask and kneel.
How now? My son!
My daughter!
Now may my blessing raise thee from the ground.
And mine make thee both fruitful, and a faithful wife.
Why, what are you?
Mistook of you! But such is women's fantasy, constant in nothing but unconstancy. For I that first you most abhorred, loved you a slave, and hated you a lord.
Well, woodcock-like by thy bill, 'tis my hap, thus fast be catched in a woman's trap.
Now by my conscience, I am deceived.
No, not a whit, for I will love you ever.
Well, give me your hand then, since 'tis my fate. What marriage joins, I'll never separate.
Sir Timothy and his wife are unmasked.
What now? Remarried?
Oh, I repent it not. This match is double made, and twice hath holy Hymen's fingers tied the knot.
Well, since 'tis thus, henceforth I'll love thee ever, for que sera, sera, against what plots soever. But who is this, Master Correction?
A friend of yours.
They unmask.
Sprecious, 'tis my wife.
Oh then, sir, 'tis a friend of yours.
Come ye away, huswife, come ye away from him, come.
Faith, sir, no. Why is he not my husband? Did not you yourself marry me to him? But do you hear, you had best be quiet and let me alone. If not, faith, I'll tell all.
Tell what thou canst. Justice, my lord, justice. I beseech ye for justice.
Nay, I beseech your lordship too, though I am but a weak vessel called a woman, and therefore, by reason of my bashfulness, unable, sir, to set forth mine own tale. Yet I doubt not, but I shall find good hearing at your lordship's hand, if you will but give me leave to open mine own case.
Speak. What are your grievances?
May it please your honour, in few words, My husband hath 4 wives, and then I hope 'tis as lawful for me to have 2 husbands.
How do you answer this, Sir John?
And like your honour, I think 'tis lawful for me to have 4 wives, as 'tis for my parson to have 4 benefices, considering I use them as he doth his benefices, for I protest to your honour, I ne'er came near none of them.
Will not this do it, Master Wages?
No, you see, he hath answered it.
Nay, then, and it like your lordship, I may be divorced for another thing, but that I am ashamed to speak on't.
Nay, you must tell what 'tis.
Truly, I'm half ashamed.
Come, come, woman, never be ashamed to tell true.
And I may be so bold to tell your honour in private.
With all my heart.
Truly, and like your honour, he hath not that a man should have.
No? Why, what doth he want?
Nay, pray your lordship to spare me now. Faith, I am ashamed.
Nay, good Mistress Correction, I must know what it is.
Why then, sir, I must needs tell. Truly he hath never a beard.
Indeed, a man should have a beard. Well, Mistress Correction, your husband must have you back again. And thus in friendship ends long jealous strife. With all things well, save Wages wants a wife.
Enter Cupid.
But gentlemen, whose judgments sit in strict commission on the wit, which from the author's pen did flow, he wisheth at all but this to know, that if you well do censure him, he ready is with brains and pen, another time to pleasure you. If not, he bids you all adieu, for well he knows he hath done well, and so he boldly dares to tell. Yet for the children, ere I go, your censure I would willing know, for if you do the action blame, they ready are with pardon drawn, and each of them here hoping stands that you will sign it with your hands.
Finis. End of Act 5. End of Cupid's Whirligig by Edward Sharpham.